Hey. Welcome to Your Aunties Could Never, a podcast for cool aunties and uncles everywhere. I'm Auntie AK, and I'm here with
Auntie Farah,
Auntie Nana,
Auntie Sade,
and
Uncle Femi.
there you go. Uncle Femi fit right in. We will get to you soon. How are you, everybody? How are you doing?
Yeah, good. I'm on a break at the moment from work, which doesn't happen all the time for me. So it's quite weird, but I'm loving it. What's today? Day 2. And today I've done not much, but go to the gym. I've had a nap, and now I'm here. So yeah,
Nice.
That's good.
I hit my 3 months probation. Not like
Yay!
Wow.
in my new job. So now they can't sack me. And I've
Yay!
anxiety.
Then you can be yourself.
I have not been on probation for a job for the last over a decade. So it's been but they could actually let me go. Now, what if they let me go? How am I going to pay my bills? But yeah, so I was to my boss yesterday, so I'm going to come in tomorrow. He's like, yeah. So it's all good. So that made me very happy today.
Good.
Oh, lovely. All right, so I have the highlight of my day today has been speaking to my best friend. She just landed from Jamaica today. And I didn't know, she surprised me that she's staying for the whole of the summer. And I didn't know this. So we were just chatting about all of the little gallivantings that we're going to do throughout the summer when she goes back in September. So that's been the highlight of my day.
Nice. Uncle Femi, you got any highlights for today? Just today?
Just today, I picked up my mum from the airport.
Oh, nice. Where's she been?
So she's been in New York, New Jersey for the past sort of 2 weeks, which is good. She really enjoyed herself. She really liked it. She went to visit my cousin and his family. So she really liked it. And so I was happy to see her, man. And I don't really do I don't do the pickups and drop-offs anymore, to be fair. But she called me yesterday and she was like, usually I just book at Addison Lee. I just book at Addison Lee. But then she called me yesterday. She's like, oh, there's going to be tube strikes tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, you know what? Let me go and pick up my mum, man, them old school ones. Have our little chat in the car on the way back. So yeah, so I picked her up. That was nice.
What a good son you are.
Good lad.
Yeah.
My highlight was speaking to Papa Essiadu, because he's in a new show called The Lazarus Project, and he is quite good, and on Sky, and speaking to Tiny Temper, because he's host of Extraordinary Portraits. I think also on Sky Arts, if I've got that right. I probably got that wrong. No, it's BBC, actually. It's BBC.
Is it not Sky Arts?
Yeah, it's BBC.
Oh, very good. Wherever it is, it's good.
Yes, and yeah, it's BBC. Great to speak to them both today. Had quite fun chats. They'll be out on British Blacklist soon. But yeah, those are my highlights of my day. All right. Let's start the show. Auntie Farah, warm us up, kid.
I was going to say, I don't know why, but that always throws me. Why have you got food in your mouth? That always throws me because I feel like you're going to do something else. Okay, cool. So tomorrow marks the 74th anniversary of when the Windrush started.
Okay.
So that's tomorrow. So I thought in ode to Windrush, we will do a little quiz, test you guys' knowledge of Windrush. They're easy. This is like a children's quiz. So if you don't get it, you need to go and read more books. Okay.
We're children.
In 1948, the British government invited hundreds of black men and women from the Caribbean to come and work in the UK. But what was the name of the ship that they travelled on? I'm going to go around.
Windrush.
HMS. Windrush.
I wanted the whole thing.
HMS Windrush.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Empire Windrush.
Oh, is it Empire?
Empire.
Windrush.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Do you know how deep it is? Yeah, that the ship that black people came from the Caribbean, Jamaica, is called Empire.
Get me.
Do you know psychological level and depth of the fact that
it's a little
and these people were shipped in on something called Empire Windrush and then were
came in on a boat.
subjected to racism on a bizarre. But anyway,
I'm going to give you that point, Femi, because you said it first.
I did.
Say empire. You can get.
I mean,
you get half a point.
I mean, we all said it.
I think
he said it
I said it first,
I
though.
think we need to roll back the tape personally, but okay.
Roll that back. He said it
As
first.
you said it
Next.
Okay.
What happened when the passengers on the Empire Windrush discovered a stowaway on board? Were they returned to the Jamaica and told to get off? Did they have a concert to pay for their ticket, or were they made to walk the plank?
Concert to pay for the ticket.
Concert. I said concert first.
I said it first.
No, we said it at the same time.
Auntie Nana said
I
that.
literally said it at the same time.
I am the jury,
Okay,
the judge, and everything.
I'm judged.
Auntie Nana said that first.
I'm concerned about that anyway. What they made them sing for their ticket.
I know, right? Again.
Yeah, but who held the concert?
Mad.
The colonizers or the people on the boat held a concert to raise tip money?
Well, who does it affect? And who's the law on the boat? Not the people.
No, I'm just asking her, who was it? Was it the community banding together to help them? Or, I don't understand. Okay, whatever.
Think about it. If you go somewhere and, like, say you go to a restaurant, yeah, and you don't pay for your food. I'm just saying, if you go to a restaurant and you don't pay for your food, who makes you wash the dishes? Not the man that sat at the next table.
Yeah.
That's my way of answering your question.
Sing for the supper, kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Right. Some black Tudors had great jobs. This is going back a bit now, right? They were expert divers I don't like this question. Sorry, I'm going to move on. Oh. Queen Elizabeth I was one of the investors in a venture set out by Sea Captain John Hawkins. It was one of England's first steps to becoming a slave trade. Shameful period in British history, but what was the shape of the journey in Hawkins' plan? Was it a triangle slave trade, a rectangle slave trade, a square?
Triangle.
That was Auntie Sade, and you are correct.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Auntie AK, you are failing big time.
I'm not really. I'm just,
said it first.
I put my hand up to say it, and I realized everyone's talking. I forgot.
Okay, next question. The horrific slave trade unfortunately continued for hundreds of years, with millions of people being taken from their homes in Africa. By the late 18th century, there was a growing campaign against slavery, included in a group of brilliant black political writers. But what were they also known as? Sons of Africa.
Sons of Africa. That's it.
Correct. And that was Femi.
Okay. Didn't know that.
Last question.
I did. I'm just very slow today.
I did a whole show. I did a whole thing about them. But yeah.
After decades of campaigning in 1796, a vote was finally held in Parliament on ending the slave trade. But why were some MPs unable to vote? Because they were black, because it was held on a Sunday, because they were at the opera, or because it didn't go ahead?
Because it didn't go ahead.
They were
I'll
at
say it again.
It was held on a Sunday.
opera.
That's why it didn't go through, because they were at the opera. Imagine that. They said they're going to do this vote.
I knew it had to be
didn't turn up. Loads of people didn't turn up to fucking vote against slavery because they went to the opera. And at the end of that round,
because it said like it didn't go ahead. That was right, and it also didn't go ahead because they went to the opera.
No, some people voted.
Some people
didn't vote.
Not everyone, exactly. So it didn't mean anything because they were at the opera. And at the end of that round, Femi wins with 1.5 points.
You came second, please.
You and Auntie Nana tied.
To clarify.
And Auntie AK scored 0 points.
I knew everything in my head.
In your head doesn't make,
I'm not fighting. I knew it in my head. All right. So it's my turn to welcome someone to the family. And I'm going to welcome Benjamin Crump, a civil rights lawyer and stuff like that. Basically, I just watched the documentary Civil, which is available on Netflix right now, by Nadia Halgren, who also did Michelle Obama's documentary. And basically it overviews some of the cases that Benjamin Crump was looking at during the years 2020 to 2021, but focusing on the biggest case that he was working on, which was a George Floyd case, and where his motto is that he doesn't have the power to get people arrested, but he does have the power to try and hit the government or the politics or whatever, the legal system where it hurts most in their pockets. So he's trying to move to making sure that victims of police brutality and racial cases and other things like that get compensated properly to hopefully affect change that way, where you know that usually when you want to break the system, you go for the money purse strings. So the documentary is really it's interesting. It covers quite a few cases and it's quite emotional when you see in succession how many black, predominantly young men, but black people have been killed at the hands of police unlawfully, and the fact that this man is rolled out every single time to be the man on the ground to kind of help the families deal with the matter. And there's, you know, he's been judged for maybe making money and profitizing off cases like this, even though he says cases like those are like 5% of the money that he makes, because he does a whole bunch of other things like like he sues banks, he sues corporations and all that type of stuff. So there's more than just the police brutality cases that make up his bank account, and he does a lot of the ones that we don't see, the high profile ones, go under the radar as well. So I think sometimes I've maybe looked at him like, why is he always there? But actually watching the documentary, one thing that struck me was that this man is in the homes of many people in succession, of people who've lost people brutally due to racism, due to unlawful murder, and the fact that he's rolling out, he's a husband, he's a father, he's a son, obviously, he's got family, and he's on the road all the time. So it just gave me another perspective into his life. And sometimes you forget that these people are in a line of fire, though they might be on camera and preaching and, you know, gathering around with all the kind of celebrities and stuff and doing that high profile shit. The reality of the day is this man is sitting in the families of people who have lost people consistently and having to deal with that trauma, taking it on himself and actually fighting the good fight. And he's been doing it from young. Like when he graduated from law school, he actually, that was his mission from a very young age, that he's going to kind of try and fight the fight for black people primarily. So I just wanted to welcome Benjamin Crump. Watch the documentary, it's quite interesting, a bit sad, or very sad actually. But he's doing big things, and he managed to get he helped towards the George Floyd case being settled for like 27 million or something like that for the family of George Floyd. So, you know, he's doing good stuff. And that's it.
Big up.
Yeah.
Welcome, Mr. Crump.
Okay, so I feel like I'm talking a lot now. As you're listening to the show, guys, please don't forget that you must leave your reviews, your comments on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and all the good places there. And don't forget also that we have a Patreon platform. Please sign up. We have 3 tiers. Make your choice. And any of you who want to join, you'll get extra episodes. You get more aunties talking more frankly about our lives and being a lot more raucous and rowdy at the Aunties after party. So please come and sign up to Patreon. That's www.patreon.com/your aunties could never. To help us become rich aunties, so we continue to give you the good word, the good advice, and the love that you need from the coolest aunties in the world. Now let's moving on to what have you heard, news and culture. Auntie Sade, what have you heard?
Hey guys. So maybe on a bit of a lighter note, my stories come from the world of music this week. So everybody knows that myself and Auntie Farah love Beyonce, and she has just dropped a new track. Oh shit, I can't even remember what it's called now. What's it called? Break My Soul, I think. Yeah. And it's a house track. And Drake also dropped a track recently called Falling Back, which is also a house track. Feels like 90s house to me. That's what people are talking about. And I just wanted to know, what do you think about this? Have you heard them? Do you like them? Have you watched Drake's video as well? Kind of thing. If you have, what did you think? Yeah, lighthearted stuff. What do you guys think?
Right. I mean, I also like Beyonce too. Just putting it.
Try it. You always do this. You don't like her as much as me and Auntie Farah like her. You're not a super fan.
Thank you.
You're not a super fan.
Thank you.
That's interesting.
What makes you a super fan of Beyonce?
Yeah.
You have to follow her work, be very positive about what she does, like be an advocate for her in when people are trying to come for her, you know, basically, you know.
Be a firm member of the hive.
Yes.
But do you know, like, it's not unique because like lots of people do this for Beyonce.
not talking about other people. We're talking about us. And
millions and millions of people.
Yes. I mean, someone who took her daughter to Amsterdam to see Beyonce on her 13th birthday. Someone who's seen Beyonce about 5 times. Someone who's met Beyonce.
Here she goes. I've seen her.
I'm not disputing.
I went to Paris. I see her VIP.
Me too. Went to Paris.
Yes.
Like,
also
do you know what I mean? So, you know.
Also went to New York.
Has your family been anointed by her? No. I don't think so. Plus, her blood is Nigerian, so please, let's just.
I mean, I'm not going to fight for super fan, but I'm just saying that I'm not like a lowly fan.
She sang my national anthem. Yeah, I'm a fan.
Okay. And I spent many a year in a Facebook group being the defender with Nana of Beyonce.
You did. I have to.
Okay. Yeah, but I didn't think you was a super fan. You wouldn't describe yourself as that.
No, not like I'm a super fan of Prince.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm talking about. And then you're trying to inject yourself in it.
Anyway, let's go. I heard the track. I love the track. I think the track is great. It's very reminiscent of old school. Drake's tune is stupid. The best part about Drake's tune is in the video, there's a bit where he's got the lounge singer, and the lounge singer is doing his own real barroom version of Best I Ever Had, Drake's old school original track. It's brilliant. That's the best part of the tune. The best part of Drake's tune is the video. It's a bit scary because it's preaching to the keep sweet and pray people. But other than that, it's funny. But Beyonce track's heavy. I like it. I listened to the first 2 bars. I was like, Beyonce, and then it just got into it. Her soul came through, and the beat. And I love it. I really enjoyed it. I've listened to it multiple times. I can't listen to Drake's more than once. It's nonsense.
Yeah, I think Beyonce actually went and took time with it, whereas I think Drake was just like, I'm gonna do this, and he did it like in a day. That's what I'm getting. It doesn't seem like he put the same amount of effort into it, and I'm not just saying it because it's Drake, but I just I don't know. The video was okay. Like you said, the lounge singer is the best thing about that video and his whole album and everything. I would actually download the lounge singer on Spotify.
Oh,
wow. I would, because I thought it was jokes.
It's brilliant. It's a brilliant remix.
Yeah. Beyonce can do no wrong. Like, a lot of times, I'm not going to lie, like sometimes when I hear her stuff, it takes a while for it to grow on me. Like, if it's a new sound, but I can hear it. Like, as the song was going on, I was like, okay, yeah, like Auntie AK said, I was getting more and more into it, and I can see myself like jamming along to it. I can't wait for the album to come out, basically. Anyway.
Same. Auntie Nana?
You don't like it?
I didn't like Beyonce's song. I think the words are fantastical and great, and I just wish it was on another beat. And I quite like dance music, but to me it just felt a bit too much like 90s house pop, and I'm over that shit. And it would, I'm not a fan. It may grow on me though, because I do like Beyonce. I'm absolutely not a super fan of anyone other than myself. So I'm cool with that. I'll defend her against people when they trash her. But other than that, this isn't the best song from her. And Drake, he's just feeding into this toxic masculinity, like flipping red pillism, men that will have bare wives. And I'm sick of Mormon culture coming into Black culture, and I'm disgusted by him as well.
I mean, but you know what? For real though, on a serious note, I feel like he wasn't quite reading the room. Like, did you watch the show? He's got Netflix. He must have seen that show.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
That's what I mean. It's like he's poking fun at a real serious issue.
No, he's tapping into the red pill world where man's one. I mean, we have an uncle here, Uncle Femi. What's your thoughts
on in terms of
on the tracks first, and then the exploration of was it polygamy?
In terms of like polygamy, it's like obviously it's traditionally a Black thing anyway. Like, you know, like if you look at like a lot of people's like my mum's dad had like 2 wives. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's not even, we're not talking like hundreds of years ago. This is like something that's like people that are alive like experience within their family. And so ultimately I think, well, it's like, it's complex. Obviously I'm Christian. I'm not trying to marry like 1 million wives, but even if I wasn't, it's just, I don't know how you have the energy to like marry multiple. I don't know how you marry lots of wives. I just don't know how these men these men are fantastic because they've got energy to be keeping up antics with like lots of different wives. I think that's very intense. But in terms of the video, I think obviously for them, it's like, it's just drawing from popular culture to create trends. Yeah. So like, if you look at like the Drake videos, like, because I knew about it before it was coming out, because like, I know two of the girls in the video, right? And then one of them told me about it before it came out. And for them, it's just like trends, right? It's just like following with music now. It's about creating these online trends and creating these buzz things for TikTok and like, you know, and things. So like in marketing your music, it's not just about the music, it's about how you package it so that it trends, so it goes viral. Like, I'm tired of viral personally. Like, I just want people to create for the sake of creating rather than creating because they want it to be popular online. Yes. So we're all competing to be popular. In terms of the music, the problem I have with like Drake, Beyonce doing these like type of house sounds is that, and the problem we have as Black British people, there's always a dance music movement, or house music movement, alongside hip hop and R&B, or even in conjunction, which is like, you know, jungle, grime, right? And right now, the dance music subculture that's popular amongst Black British people is Amapiano, which is super new, super fresh, super progressive. So when you're giving me that type of house or dance, I don't want to hear it because I like Amapiano.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's behind the trend.
You're right.
Where we are at culturally as a cultural movement at the moment, like the dance music subculture that we're all into is this thing that's coming out of South Africa, not this thing from the 90s.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. We'll probably get Amapiano remixes though. Do you know what I mean? If they're not already, like, I think we've heard we've heard Drake's album. Beyonce will probably do something there, or there'll be dance moves incorporated in the video when it drops and all that kind of stuff. But I do think that we are, like, as in the UK, we are kind of on the cutting edge of that, and it's brilliant that we're leading. Do you know what I mean? And you know, we'll see if these, you know, top tier artists like follow and stuff. I did think, like, with Beyonce's track, like, as I said in our group, she's literally cosplaying as a 9-to-5er. Beyonce, you've never had a 9-to-5. Like, what are you talking about? We don't believe you. Like seriously, I thought that was like quite funny. But I can see how, you know, that is definitely like a caption on social. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just see like people saying, what, Beyonce, should I quit my job now? Like, I'm listening, I'm gonna do it, that kind of thing. I thought that was quite funny. And you know, I just think I do like what Drake does though. I like the track. I like most types of dance music, probably not techno, but most types. And I like what he's trying to do from a marketing standpoint. I really do, because I just thought it was just like so meta. Like, I love the reference to the Mormon culture, even though it's pretty toxic. I thought that it was actually quite brilliant to have Tristan Trimester Thompson in there as well, playing the best man. I thought that was freaking third Trimester Thompson. I thought that was pretty brilliant. And then even his mum as well, like, you could tell he's not taking it too seriously. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I thought it was pretty entertaining. I know one of the girls in there too, kind of thing. And I just thought it was, I don't know, it was just like, for where she is and what she's doing, like, you know, do you know what I mean? That is going to change her. It's just going to change her life. Do you know what I mean? And those are the things that can happen with this and stuff. So yeah, I thought it was pretty entertaining, to be honest. I wasn't like super offended by it. I just saw it as like light entertainment and not too deep kind of thing. So
I think for me, we're in this world where we can do what we want, anything, and it doesn't matter. Our opinions don't matter anymore, apart from like the groundswell of conversation, and it moves on to the next thing. But I'm like, if Drake, as Auntie Farah says, if Drake took half an hour, which obviously he didn't, but if it is that kind of smug kind of look, I can do anything and people are going to respond, I take offense to that. I mean, I'm not going to die in my sleep about it, or die on a hill arguing about it. But being lazy with the art and the platform that you've been given, it's annoying to me. However, I'm not going to argue for hours. I'm not going to I'm going to get on with my life, innit? Because Drake's making his million and he's having his fun. But there's a little bit of that. If it is that a smugness where I don't have to put effort, because I do think that Drake's last couple albums have been very copy and paste and lightly on trend and lazily dipping in and out of, and I don't mind, you do whatever you want, because definitely with Beyonce, she's a queen of reinvention. She's doing like Michael, she's doing like Madonna, when they always come out on trend. When they make their big comeback, they always at least pick something that's on trend, even if the whole album isn't of the trend. They'll have 1 or 2 tracks that reflect that, so they can stay current. And I think that's smart anyway, just to stay relevant. You have to be aware of what's going on. And it's interesting that she's doing 90s house, but so that's her kind of maybe aware that dance is coming back, but also she's going to put her own spin on it. And Beyonce likes to be original, or as original as she can be. I was going to say she likes to stand out. I should say she likes to stand out and do her thing differently, even though she's doing the same thing. So, but with Drake, I don't know. There's a little bit of cockiness. I'm not sure. I don't know him. I don't know whether it's real.
Well, you would think he's cocky because he's in a video marrying 26 girls. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so he's.
I mean, more the music, the visuals.
Impression.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it feeds into the ideology about him, like the connotations of him and who he is. Do you know what I mean? But like, I don't know. Like, I think it is interesting. I think even in that track, he actually sampled a Ghanaian track as well, kind of thing. So that's interesting. Like, I just like his ability to, like, although it can be annoying, but to ride anything, like to take influences from anywhere, like I really think that's pretty interesting.
Also, you know what we have to remember about Drake? Drake's not American, he's Canadian.
He's Canadian.
Canadian culture. Yeah.
Canadian culture is slightly different from American culture. And so, and it's heavily influenced, like it's more open. Remember, Canada's head of state is the Queen.
Yeah. They're closest to us.
Yeah, they're closest to us. They're closer to Caribbean, so it's a lot more open, and they understand, like, you know, they're more open-minded. Whereas, like, African Americans are brought up in a more insular worldview, and so in a way, like, it's really extraordinary when they are not just all American. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And so, I think they're all, like, you know, Beyonce, Drake. What you said about Beyonce could be said to be true of Drake. In a way, like, do you know what I mean? Obviously, you're like, well, Drake's like this, but it's not good. But Beyonce does this. But every Drake album, he tries to make it different. The last album was terrible.
Yeah, it was. It was bad.
I still, you know how bad it was?
How bad?
Only the other day I listened to the Jay-Z track on that album.
Really?
And I like Jay-Z. Only the other day. It came on, you know when you play Spotify songs and the songs randomly start playing? And I'm like, oh, I didn't even, because that album was so bad, I couldn't even get through it. The Kanye was, I feel like him and Kanye gassed everyone up and put out like mediocre albums.
Kanye's album was better than his, though.
I was gonna say Kanye's was better.
Yeah, but they both weren't that good. They both weren't that good.
Agreed. You know, but I suppose that's when you're saying, when you're looking at these artists who have produced like amazing things, it's easy to say, and this is even with Beyonce and, you know, Michael and all the greats in the past, people are always like, it wasn't as good, because they want them to be that, you know, lemonade. They want it to be bad. They want it to be, and it's hard to always reach that. But with that said, for me, the last 10 albums of Drake's, I'm joking.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is about Drake? I personally have a soft spot for Drake, because I think he's there was a time when Drake came. Drake's one of the only rappers, when he raps, I feel like, oh my gosh, he's talking about my life.
Oh yeah, lots
of songs like that where I'm like, oh my gosh, I know that person. Or like, I know that girl he's talking about. Do you know, he's like the only rapper. You know, other rappers, obviously you can relate, they're from the hoods, that's not my life. But like, when he's dropped, like, you know, So Far Gone, and like every track he's talking about stuff that I'm going through, like as a young star at the time, and I could relate to, like he's got the song with Trey Songz, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds like me. And he's talking about the girls he's partying with. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like the girl that like looked like $1 million, but they caught tube, but they don't know how they're getting back home that night. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like, you know, and so in a way I'm biased towards him, but at the same time, you are right in that some of the music, it's like there's too much volume and there doesn't seem to be like, there's just too much music all the time.
Let's get the comments
It's
before we move on.
Sometimes it just sounds like one.
Yeah, he sounds the same. I mean, I don't hate Drake, but let's get the comments. I think, Charlotte, you're gonna have to do it for NYASH.
Yeah. So Gracious Greatness is saying, good evening, aunties and uncles. It is saying, am I saying? Did I say it right?
You actually did.
Yes, you did. Oh, yeah.
Let me see. Ashes to Ashes says, love, break my soul, perfect timing. And also, I thought Auntie AK was a member of the Beehive. We've clarified that now, what level she's at. Not the same as us. I'm joking. Trigger it again. And also says, let's not talk about Drake and nonsense and ingredients. And yeah, that's it so far. But guys, keep your comments coming. Tell us what you think about what we're talking about. You're on mute.
I know. I was trying to find my mute button. Okay. Hey, who's next? Is it me? I hope it's not me. If it was Auntie Sade, then it is me. Okay. I am going to talk about, if I can find my page. Here I am. So I don't know which one to talk about. Okay, yeah, I will. So mine's a bit more serious. I don't know if you guys watched the documentary. Hold on, sorry, I must mute my messages. The documentary that's on YouTube through BBC Africa, Racism for Sale, where the hosts Selena and Henry Mahango go on a journey to into the Chinese video making industry that exploits vulnerable children across the continent. And so basically, there's this guy there's this wave of videos where people are filming African children, not people specifically a Chinese man specifically, and other Chinese people are filming African children in their poverty state and getting to say all sorts of nonsense, like denigrating themselves or really celebrating Chinese culture, just basically mocking them. And somehow these videos get put on the internet, go viral, and make money for these Chinese filmmakers. And it's just an exploration of the continued exploitation of not just white folks in Africa. There are other races and communities that are also got their fingers in Africa and doing horrible things. I don't know if you watched the documentary, what your thoughts are on the documentary, and any way. I mean, it seems like it's almost impossible to stop it. But how could we possibly stop things like that happening?
So I haven't watched it, but obviously it sounds awful. I think that, I think these platforms that host this type of stuff should definitely do more to, shut these pages down. Do you know what I mean? And kind of come after the people that are putting out that kind of content. Like, it just needs to stop. So they don't have, because it's easy to kind of I think it's to go after the people that, especially children that are in these types of videos. Do you know what I mean? But they're clearly being exploited. They're clearly vulnerable. And what kind of, you have to be scum, basically, or worse than scum to do that to a vulnerable person, right? Do you know, let alone a vulnerable child. So yeah, it's just awful.
Yeah, agreed. I watched it, and it's just heartbreaking because the parents are quite trusting. You know, these people come into the communities, and he's got the children calling him uncle and stuff like that. And then when the translation comes, the things that he's telling them is quite different to what what they're actually saying. You know, he's making them sing and dance. There's a section as well where what they do is they get these kids to say happy birthdays and things like that, and you can buy one of these children singing happy birthday or saying something, and it's quite popular. So, you know, like now you've got like Moonpig, and you do online, those kind of online card things. So they have this online system where they've got these children saying stuff, and the thing is, it's not like these people don't know, because when the reporter went undercover, well, when her colleague was undercover and was asking him about the video where the children are basically saying they're stupid. He's got the children saying they're stupid. He says, you know, don't show that video to anyone. The black people, they wouldn't like it if you showed if they saw it. So they're fully aware of what it is that they're doing, and how they're exploiting people. And it's just sad because the people that the children that they're using are getting paid like less than £1 a day, and he's making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds off of these videos. And it's just like this hidden network that, because it's not like it's on normal social media either. It's controlled. It's a controlled one. So I just don't even know how you go about stopping those things, other than going back to the way that governments across our countries let people in, and just be a bit more vigilant in what it is that they're doing.
For me, I think it really, we've spoken about China and the exploitation that they're doing, that we suspect that they're up to in the name of like just trading with Africa. But I felt that the fact that it's like, as the lady said, the Chinese woman, is 50-50. There are some people that are literally like, this is disgusting and it should be removed from all social media. And there's others that are like, this is entertainment. I felt like that's how you begin to dehumanize Black people. It's like you subtly begin to do it. Having that main star with 56 million followers on one of their sites have one of the kids' videos up on in their concert. And again, the kids are like just chanting that Chinese people are great and they're helping us. And all of this stuff, I was like, nah, that's how it begins. You have a slow rolling campaign to dehumanize Black people, and then before you know it, we're back in slavery again to a Chinese empire, and then we're all looking around like, oh, what happened? Why are they allowed to be there doing these exploitative things? Like, we haven't already learned? Like, literally, like, in the name of charity, you've allowed this man to take lots of kids and say that he's going to be teaching them Chinese and their parents are elsewhere in the country. I watched it getting increasingly angry as to why we're back here again, and that we're going to allow this to take place. I'm really glad that the guy eventually was arrested by the Malawian police. That's great. But as you know, the closing was, there's probably hundreds of people doing this in hundreds of different villages around Africa, and sending this stuff off to China. And again, it's hard to police China because they're a law unto themselves.
Yeah.
But we have to shut down. We literally have to shut down like China did to become a superpower. Like, Africa can't be the playground for everybody else at all of our detriments. It's like, it's absolutely not on. I can't wait for the day, and I hope I see it in my lifetime, where we do shut down and we are like, everybody piss off and get out. And however we survive, and we just build ourselves up again. But it was definitely disgusting.
Yeah, I think that's where I was getting. That's what I was getting angry. Because it's like, why are we so trusting? And I can't remember who I was speaking to this week or over the weekend. It's like, what people back home have a different perspective of how Africa and Africans are viewed. And I know they're not. I know some are not ignorant to the extent of how Africa is viewed, but it's just really strange how people, what they don't know. And I don't want to speak because I haven't had enough conversations with people back home to really understand what it is about others that you're missing the trick, that the continent is continuously being colonized, raped, and resources stolen by people who don't give a damn, and you keep welcoming it in. The governments keep welcoming it in. And I know it can't just be about money. It can't always just be about money. Is it us inherent that we just trust anyone and just have faith? What is the thing that we don't see, that we're letting go of resources that are so valuable that we could turn ourselves around? Because when you're looking at the amount of the perspective they gave with kids in poverty, and I know we as Black people, we're all talking about rebranding Africa and rebranding Caribbean and the places that look impoverished. We want to change that branding on its head so that we can see the places that all of us go back to. We're not living in huts and poverty. We're living in, when we go back home, we're living in houses better than the houses that we live in the UK and stuff like that in some cases. So we want to show that side of things, but it doesn't help or really deal with the matter that we've got extreme poverty, and it's because something's not clicking, something's not turning over back home, that we are actually such a powerful people. We have everything we need on our land, but we're just letting it go. And I'm stuck. I'm really, really stuck. I'm really stuck about what to do and how to convince, because how do you explain to people back home that no, this is not the way forward? When people, you know, I don't know. It got me really mad too, and I was frustrated. But I also went back to, maybe it was an easy target. I was like, the number that colonization and slavery has done on us is deep. It's really, really deep, and I don't know how we get ourselves out of it. I don't even know if we'll see it in our lifetime. I don't know. Uncle Femi, what are your thoughts on the continent and the Caribbean being slave?
I think it just takes time. I think all of these things take time, and it takes time for states to develop. So like African states are not stable because they're not super developed, and the states are still working out how to be states, because like these people, a lot of these states, you know, are only like 100 years old. Like Nigeria is 100 years old, or 112 or 122. Like, do you know what I mean? These countries are infant states. Like within, if you think like Nigeria as a country, obviously has existed for thousands of years, but as a country, as a concept, has only existed for 100 years. And that's one of the most influential black states in the world, right? But Britain's existed as a country for thousands of years. And so if you look at the stage of development that those countries are at, it's inevitable that the state is still working itself out, and it's still trying to figure out, you know, like they've got elections in Nigeria next year, and it's a bit of a mess really, because it's the same uncles like doing speeches that are not even talking about what they're going to do for the state. Like, you know, me and my mum was making a joke. There's one of the candidates. He was on a campaign trail saying, "Oh, I helped everyone else be president. It's my turn." That's his pitch. How could your pitch be like, "It's my turn"? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not serious. It's still like in its infancy, because then if you're not sorting out the governance level, then it's hard to stop outsiders coming in to influence your people, because like the government doesn't exist to serve the people. The government exists to serve itself. In most of these states, right? I'm not saying some of them are better than others. And then you've got like, you know, poverty that exists because structurally those states were created to preserve the West rather than to preserve themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. It's so deep that actually on the surface level, we could talk about a Chinese guy going over there to exploit people and take people's children. But like, that's just like an example of what happens when the roots of these states, or the foundation of the state and social society is not strong enough.
Mm.
Like the social contract in these countries are weak.
I do think that as well, to add to that, like it's also the same here. I know it doesn't seem like it, like on the surface, but what's the difference really? Like, we have a government that makes up rules, changes the rules, moves the goalposts all the time, and doesn't have the people's best interests at heart when they're making these decisions. And we see it over and over again. We've seen it more, you know, like more fiercely with Boris Johnson, who just wants to do what the hell he wants.
Do you know what it is though? Do you know where the difference is? Do you know where the difference is though? I say that to say, like, the difference is there are other arms of government that exist. Like, you know, there are structures in place that exist.
Yeah.
To hold people accountable, right? Outside. So like, I'm not saying
even being held accountable. Boris Johnson.
No. Wait.
Being accountable.
So at the executive level,
it's not the same. It's exactly the same.
At the executive level, right? And there's no accountability, right? But then you've got it doesn't directly. It's weird because there's a separate funding for your council. The police have their budget. I think
it's just PR. We're PR'd to say that we're civilized. We know what we do.
I'm not even saying that. I'm not even saying that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like,
what I'm saying is that actually the structures of states is not all at the executive level. The structures of state, like power, right? Mm-hmm. Government power operates. Do you know, like, literally, when you come in contact with government and like with the state, right? Like, if your kids go to school, you have to supply certain pieces of paperwork, right? the police might come in contact with you. You have to supply a set of pieces of paperwork. Where you try to get a bank account. There's all these different things that the power of the state is not just through Boris Johnson. It exists outside of Boris Johnson. Whereas actually, but wait. So take Buhari, right? Take Nigeria, right? The power of the state, say, doesn't exist completely through him. But then the police is corrupt. The legal system is full. The infrastructure. So there's just a lot more. I just feel like there's a lot, because the state is still developing, the structures are not as strong as it is here.
I think it's but the principles are the same. It's not, each of those states, each of those pillars are not there to serve the community. They're there to serve the government and to keep the people oppressed, and it's easy for people in power to exploit them. And this is why these things happen in countries like Nigeria all the time, or whatever countries. Like,
you will not give your kid, you will never give your kid £4 to go live with a guy to teach you.
This is what I'm saying.
You're not in absolute poverty. No.
Let me finish my point. Well, it's so interesting because if you go to certain inner city places, or even outside London and stuff, kids get exploited. White kids get exploited all the time, doing stupid shit, getting paid by dirty pedophiles and whatever, like, do you know what I mean, kind of thing. They get exploited all the time. But that's not the UK's brand. That's not what pushed out there in the adverts all the time, or when we're talking about the UK. But that happens all the time. There's a majority of poor people at the moment who a lot of them are white as well. I'm not going to say the same majority, who have to survive on food banks. Like that's our country at the moment. That's the UK, the lead, third superpower in the world, fourth or whatever, top 10.
Well, I think it might be 6, 7.
What I'm saying is just like, we've got very good PR. It's for some reason our poverty isn't looked at as like it's a serious thing. It really isn't looked at the same way, but they're doing exactly the same thing. People get
I'm not like, but the point is, ultimately, like, people are poor here, but you can sign on. You've got free healthcare. There's structures in place where you can live. You can live
structures for sure.
Yeah. You can't argue. It's a different level. Like there isn't just a different level
of poverty. I'm not
when
arguing.
You go to the NHS, right? That's not PR. That's real. If you're sick, you call the ambulance comes and takes you to the hospital. That's real. If someone kicks in your door, you call the police. Most of the time, they might not do nothing, but they'll turn up. Like, do you get what I'm saying? That's real. And like, these things are real. Like, these structures are real. They exist. And it's not just PR. And so, like, in a way, I'm not saying there aren't poor people here, but it's not abject poverty. You can't.
I'm not saying it's the same level of poverty. I'm just saying the structures that are built here are there to exploit people, and they are the same structures that they've shipped out across the world in their different colonies to do exactly the same thing.
I agree with both of you, and the reason why I say that is because the last point that you just made, Auntie Sade, like, all these countries that have come out of colonialism, their legal system is set up from how Britain left it, or other European countries left it. So you're right in the sense, Femi, where you're saying it is in its infancy, but their structure is founded on the way that Britain left it. This is the way that you do things. And they're trying to adapt to that. And it's difficult. And I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see it in our lifetime where these sort of things change, because a lot of these countries that we call home are still in massive amounts of debt to the UK and other European countries, to the point where we don't know what goes on, what kind of shady deals are done behind, closed doors to make them accept some of the shit that they're accepting.
Keep them imbalanced.
Yeah.
Let's get the comments. Auntie Nans.
Okay. All right. I think there's only a couple. I'll go with Gracious Greatness. She says, exploitation of my people and neighboring tribes plus communities. Thing is, we as Africans are so welcoming and show hospitality to other communities that are plotting evil. I can't even, because I'm just going to butcher that. And then she, Girls Talk London says, agree, Africa needs proper governance. And Gracious Greatness goes on to say, in my humble opinion, I think the foreign policy of the UK, USA, and other nations has so much of an impact upon what's going on in various nations within our beautiful continent. And additionally, I hear of certain heads of state in some of the African nations who have been declared as unalive or because they refuse to be a puppet to the West or the East. And Uncle Femi, the NHS unfortunately permitted 90 plus years to pass away who fell, and a man tripped and was unable to get into, I think it was an ambulance, like he wasn't able to get an ambulance and they left him for 4 hours. And then also Tammy says, and with the stuff that's being built by the Chinese people also want a piece of the pie now. That's literally what I'm scared of, the way we're walking into being colonized again by the Chinese all around the world. Like everybody is subject to them.
In Grenada right now, like they're building loads and loads of like housing estates, basically. That's what they are. They're housing estates. And on the one hand, it's really good because there's so many people that can't afford to buy land or can't afford to build property and stuff like that. There's so many people. But then on the next hand, I do feel like, what are they getting? What is it that they're getting from doing this? And we'll never know because you've got corrupt prime ministers like Keith Mitchell over there doing whatever he wants to do, riding around in his Bentley while people ain't got electricity in their homes. It's just, I don't know how we get out of it.
But we have history to teach us this. It's like they did exactly the same when they went into India. They had the great railway track system. So they came there like, we're aiding your country. You're going to be able to trade and travel around Asia, and we're going to do all of this. They didn't go straight off showing their hand. They did the railway track, and then before you know it, you're enslaved by these people and they're shipping you across the world. And it's just like, in our DNA, should we not have this memory system within us where we're like, this has happened before, and we kick in so that it doesn't take place again?
And then what happens when we do kick in? We get told, you've got a chip on your shoulder.
I'll take a chip on my shoulder.
Talk about that. That wasn't me. That was me.
It's about the pushback, because we can talk about everything. Like we can talk about the West is worse. The West is worse. The West is worse, and it's done all of this stuff. But what's the resolve? And for us, and it gets back to that, we can't solve racism. We can't fix it for white folks. Or how do we fix it for ourselves or protect ourselves from this onslaught? Because we're repeating, we're doing Groundhog Day at this point.
I don't know.
All right, let's move on. Auntie Farah, what have you heard?
So I want to celebrate something which is amazing and an achievement. So on this weekend, Saturday, the 25th, I think the date is, it marks the 2nd anniversary of Black Pound Day. And in honor of that, well, not in honor of that, but simultaneously with the 2nd anniversary, they are launching their permanent, yes, you heard it right, permanent shop in Westfield, London. Not Stratfield, but London, as in West Side, baby. See, I can't even say it right because I don't care. That place up in East. But yeah, so it's happening this weekend. And I just wanted to get your thoughts about how Black Pound Day, what it's done for you, how you think this is going to help the community, and, just chance to celebrate the greatness that the Black Pound Day team and Swiss have brought to us. And, one of my friends, actually, they own a shop called a skincare line called Earth to Earth Organics, and they will be displayed in the shop permanently. And it just brings me so much fucking joy. So I just wanted to really shine a light on that and get your thoughts and your stories and just ask you how you think and you feel.
It's great, amazing. I remember when it all first started and stuff, it had such an impact on one of my businesses, Everyday Friday. It was just pretty amazing and really just helped build up momentum and kind of really tap into that Black Pound, really. So that was great. So I'm just loving their progress, really. It's pretty cool, and we should go and check it out and go down there and buy it and shop. You know, I love to shop, so let's go.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think Swiss has done a good thing. I remember like the early days of, you know, launching something. It's hard work. It was stress for him. We had him on the show. He was talking about it, and the times that we've had conversations, it's never easy trying to do something, especially when you've got the community at heart and you want to take it bigger or better and have it more sustainable. So he's really put in the hard slog, and I just think it is amazing. I hope that it does make a difference to people that go into the shop. I hope that Westfield is struggling because there are a lot of closed shops and shop spaces because of the high rents and because of lockdown. So I really hope that this can sustain and it will bring some much needed in cash injection and finances and profits to Black businesses. And I hope that Westfields have done them a nice deal where they will be able to be buffered from anything that could befall them in that space, because it is an expensive retail space. But yeah, this is great news. I can't wait to go in and because I missed it. I was very annoyed when they had their pop-up. I missed it. I was so busy the week. I think it was a week that it was there. I couldn't get down there. I was so upset. So I'm really glad they got that space. I think it's a huge achievement. Yeah, brilliant.
I'm super happy and super excited for them because it's a bigger space. It's in a really, really great location. And I mean, like the shop that they've got in Westfield, it's not just that it's in Westfield, it's just in a great location in the actual shopping centre. And it's just an opportunity. If you think about all the tourists that go there and all the different types of people that go there that would never actually be able to tap in. Black Pound Day is great, and it's great that it lives online, but to actually have a space, and it's a mini department store, they're doing all different types of products. So where you can actually go in, these people can tap in and see things that they wouldn't necessarily see. So I just think it's such a great achievement. It's really great for Black businesses to, you know, get their stuff out there. It's just, I'm just so happy about it. Yeah. And I just remember when it was coming out, we, you know, like you said, we had him on the show and he had to justify, not to us, but he was being asked to justify why Black Pound Day, people were saying that it was racist. And he had to explain, no, it's not racist. We're just saying, this is how you build communities. This is how you build business. This is how you advance. This is how you get generational wealth. This is the things that you do. And I just love the journey. And I think that the team have worked super hard. And I just can't wait to get in there. And it's in West. So, boy, I said it before. Happy, 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 happy.
West is best.
West.
Isn't it, though? I lie, though. It's true, isn't it? Come on, now.
I'm actually not from West. I just like that West.
But you know it's best.
No.
But you know it's best.
Don't gas her, please. No.
Nowhere is best on this land that's not ours.
But West.
You know, every land is ours.
Technically, he's right.
Yeah.
But I'm not claiming the end they divided. And
Do you know this like every land is ours. Everywhere we step our foot on God's green earth that we decide is ours is ours. Like I refuse to believe that.
On that note, that means you can't claim any ends. Just like the whole of England is mine then.
Yeah, like, you know, I just think like cultures are important. Like, you know, culturally it's important. You know, I'm Nigerian culturally, and I'm proud of that. But like, even if I'm not in Nigeria, I'm Nigerian. And even if I choose to be Nigerian in China and I choose to get a Chinese kid to say in Yoruba that Nigerians are the best for £1, I'm still the best Nigerian. Like, do you know what I mean? Even the thought of it sounds absurd. Like, I can't believe someone really did that. But yeah, anyway, we have to make light, otherwise we get depressed.
I'm telling you. I want to see. I want to know what products are in there. I heard there's some Black fashion brands in there. That'd be fantastic.
Everything. I can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. I don't know what's happened to Auntie Nana because she's up next. That was a nice, short, sweet one. She's gone off the grid. So we could pick. Oh, there we go. Auntie Nana, you're up next. What have you heard?
Hello.
Can you hear us, Auntie Nana?
She looks frozen. She's frozen.
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know. She's having a bad connection day.
Having a bad connection day. So we could maybe time out with another story from our list. I don't know if any of you guys have something else you want to talk about whilst look, do we want to talk about Burna Boy? Well, I'll go on with Burna Boy. I don't know.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, what's going on with Burna Boy, man? Because I really, really, really love Burna Boy. But I don't like behavior like that, but I don't know the story and I don't know what's true and what's not.
Yeah, I don't know the full story.
So,
So-
I can't lie. I got some tea today.
Can you share
did.
the tea?
I can share bits of it. But
Okay,
what the account that I heard was that it actually, so basically what's happening on social is that on, I think one of, the blog pages, they posted up a girl's account of being shot at in a club. And
Yes, because
in this account that she said, she alleged that Burna Boy's team were the people shooting at her and her party because they were saying that she's married, and the someone from his camp sent someone over to kind of bring her to the table because he took a shine to her and stuff, and they kept on doing it. And she alleged that she pushed away those advances. That's it. And so yeah, and because of that, they got annoyed and they started shooting, and then shooting people when they were trying to get out of the club as well, kind of thing. And she alleged that Burna Boy was laughing at this. However, what I heard was very, very different. What I heard was that, and obviously this is just like hearsay,
rumors.
So, and I really don't know, but it was someone that's close to the Burna Boy camp, and basically what they were saying is that the young lady in question allegedly wanted to take a picture with Burna Boy. She was there with someone else because she was happy and maybe excited to take that picture. That person that she was with, who was like toasting her, I think you guys know what that means, like wasn't too happy about it. Do you know what I mean? So because they weren't too happy, they got into a bit of a kerfuffle. Bottles started flying everywhere. A couple people got hit by bottles and stuff, and then one person was getting choked by someone. So someone from Burna's team was getting choked. So because of that, the police that were with Burna, looking after Burna, was like, you need to stop this, back off. I think a movement was made, and then the police was like, okay, then in your leg. So it was basically kind of thing, but apparently Burna had nothing to do with this. Like, do you know what I mean? He was just being, himself, a celebrity, people interested in him, and there's nothing he could do about it.
Yeah.
He tried to leave, and obviously they're trying to protect him, and that's the story from another.
This is the thing when celebrities, this is like Diddy and Shine and all that scenario from back in the day, and like Chris and Drake, and all these celebrities have had these incidences where they go out on the party, they just want to have a good time, and it kicks off, and then they are guilty by association, and all you hear is the celebrity's name. Right. They might not even have been in the room, but they're getting sued for stuff that their friend might have done, who isn't even part of their real entourage. It's like they're bouncers, flipping cousins, sisters,
down the line,
kids,
down the line.
But
I'm really appreciative of this version of events because I prefer that. I don't, because I really like Burna Boy. I'm biased. I want him to come out unscathed.
I want him to win.
And also, apparently, like, because it's the people in the camp. I can't say people in the camp went to go, and the people that got hurt, they went to go and see them, see if they're okay. They paid for their medical bills, kind of thing, just as a kind of like a goodwill-ish gesture, really. Do you know what I mean? Well, it's just our custom, really. If someone get hurt, you go and see if they're okay, and if you can cover their bills, then you'll cover their bills, right? So yeah, that apparently happened too. But it's interesting how this just can get so.
But it's interesting how either way, because you just don't know, because it could be that because some celebrities are assholes. Burna Boy is not, because I'm a fan.
Some celebrities are assholes.
Some celebrities are assholes.
You said he's not because you're a fan. I want to say
some celebrities and some celebrities caught the drama, and some celebrities cannot leave that thug life alone. Some celebrities can't. Some celebrities caught the drama because it enhances their brand. Some celebrities are connected to the streets in the way they got famous, got rich, and got into the limelight before they severed their ties. Or maybe some celebrities can't sever their ties when they're connected to the streets. It's not as easy as that for some celebrities, but not Burna Boy, because I'm a fan.
You know what? I must admit, when I heard it, I was like, nah, not Burna Boy. He's doing too treacheries, like not like to actually be licking shots himself. I thought, nah, that can't be real. I couldn't like that. I was like, nah, that I can't. I don't want to believe that shit. Not him himself.
I can't lie. I wasn't like, I wasn't shocked. Do you know what I mean? It didn't like. I didn't think, oh, not Burna. I just thought, oh, really? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Same.
I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
I thought no, because I thought he's too smart to be doing that personally.
Yeah.
I mean, shit goes left sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And
you got to watch the company you keep in, and depending, because the thing is, you know, we're always going to hear, we will hear on the ground while gone, isn't it? But you know, sometimes you need to watch the company you keep, especially the bigger you get. You need to really be careful about where you go and what you do. And if you don't give a fuck, then you don't give a fuck, and then the chips will fall, and the consequences will be the consequences.
I do think as well, you got, you know, do you know what I mean? Like, I think some of these people that this happened to were from the UK and they were in Nigeria, right? So it's different rules, as we've kind of discussed. Do you know what I mean? It's not the same. It really isn't the same. So you do have to be a bit careful. You know, you have to have your wits about you when you're in those kind of scenarios. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, police can draw a gun at you. Yeah, they can. You can get shot. Like, it's not a joke. So people do need to be careful. Yeah,
and that's on that. Auntie Nana, she also, what have you heard?
Are you back?
What did I want to go for? So there was two. You guys can say which one. There's the news that just broke today, that they found a new STI, and they're saying that this new STI that they've surveyed in over 8,000 people, it seems to be more prevalent within Black women. And then I was also thinking, huh?
I put a note there.
I have no clue.
Okay, cool. Go
Play
on.
it.
Just do that. Do the STI one. Do the STI one.
The STI. Okay, yeah, cool. All right. So this new STI that's come along that they found in the survey, I just really generally wanted to find out from you guys, do you actually trust this information that they found a new STI, and they're saying that within ethnic minorities, it seems to be slightly more prevalent within us? It's like 5% against 3.4% that they found in white women. Do you trust this information? Does it make you more kind of like you want to go and get checked out more because of this new information? Do you trust it? That's what I wanted to discuss.
All the sex I'm having, gosh darn. Do you know what? I'm like, is this, you know, Handmaid's Tale? Is this because they know that their population is dwindling, ours is thriving? So anything to make us be more cautious about copulating and impregnating ourselves and all that type of stuff, or making us pause a little bit whilst they can play catch up. I don't understand. It's 5%. I left a comment where I saw this and just said, look, be safe. There's nothing wrong with being safe. And I don't think you should throw out any information that comes our way about new illness, especially in this current climate. But I beg you, and to be fair, we are different. How come all the studies that we need to be studied about Black women and our body and Black people and our illnesses and how different illnesses affect us differently? How come all of a sudden they've got this research done? Dustin, we got sickle cell to solve, guys.
Right. Fucking Black women dying in labor.
We've got so much other things going on that all of a sudden you found this random STI that affects us more. And 5%, okay. So yeah, I'm not saying dismiss it because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. However, there's a little bit of tinfoil hat going on. Guys, strap up, be safe. Don't just be out there whiling. And if you are out there whiling, just strap up in it.
My thing is this, right? So they tested 8,000 people. How many of those 8,000 people were Black and how many were white? Like, was it even? Because then if it's not even and you've gone and you've spoken to more Black people than you have white people, the statistics are going to be all over the place. So I always take this shit with a pinch of salt. It's just like, okay then. Show me like for like, and then we can go.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It's just so difficult because as a Black woman, like often you wake up and there's just attacks. Like, do you know what I mean? So it just feels like another attack. Like, what now? Leave us alone. But obviously, as Auntie AK said, we're not doctors. Do you know what I mean? So you should, take your sexual health very, very seriously. But we can't ignore that, it does sometimes feel like they're out to get us like at every single angle. It's just very, very interesting. I want to see this in these tests been done in other countries as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's something, it just doesn't smell right. I don't know if you can use that pun.
I mean, it's them getting back at us for not getting monkeypox. Is that
right? Okay, yeah, that's true.
And because we're multiplying faster than they are, and they've got a Black doctor fronting the conversation as well. Wonderful, they're so smart.
It's weird. It's a weird one. I want to trust it, but I just can't. I don't know. I can't.
Femi, what do you think?
Yeah,
I just think I have no opinion. I just think it's nonsense, really, because I think it's nonsense because the percentages are not even that mad. So it's like 3.4 as opposed to 5 point something, which is a big but not big. It's like 1.5 difference maybe. And then also at the same time, like you said, like there's sickle cell. Go and figure out how that happens to Black people. That happens exclusively, almost exclusively to Black people of West African descent, right? And so why don't you go and find a solution to that?
Yes.
That will really help Black people a lot.
Exactly.
Facts.
Yeah. And their medication should be free.
Exactly.
And we should pay taxes.
Most definitely.
I don't know about that.
What? You don't know about Black people not paying taxes?
No, Black people shouldn't pay taxes.
We absolutely should not pay taxes ever in life because we've built everything. So
for at least 4 generations.
But that would never happen. So like,
that's what we want, though.
We know it would never. But
I actually do not know that.
I don't know if it will never.
I don't know that at all. I am.
Don't know if it will never. I
absolutely.
We won't be alive forever, but if we were, I bet you think
it would wipe us out, man.
I don't know if it's
Black people will die before they never pay tax. I agree with that one.
They find a way to kill us.
I don't know if it's going to happen in my lifetime, but I believe this could take place. I think it's within our realm of scope and possibility that Black people will get tax exempt.
Black people in the diaspora getting taxed.
I would say in the next 100 years, it's going to happen.
They're going to kill us. They're going to kill us all.
They've been trying to kill us forever.
Dr. Vanessa Appiah, who says that we are susceptible to this new STI, will not agree with you, Auntie Nana.
That we're not going to pay taxes.
Yeah, she's out there working as an agent. What are your thoughts? Do you think?
You think she's an agent?
It's just me being dramatic. Dr. Vanessa, I love you so much, but please be careful.
What is Prevent X, by the way? Has anyone
exactly? This is what I'm saying. Dr. Vanessa works for Prevent X, a company which is the UK's largest provider of remote sexual health tests. Remote sexual health tests. Auntie Nana, how do you feel? Do you believe in this? I'm sure you do.
Believe that there's this. No, I don't think the sample is big enough to have the scaremongering leading headlines, because 8,700 people. I too want to know where did you pick these Black people from, and the Asians and all of the other ethnic minorities? What was the percentage of each person? And depending on where they were and the culture within the area, this may be prevalent because there's something in penises that they're having sex with these women, and it could be down to the men. Like literally there's an influx of men having sex with these women in this certain area, and that's the susceptibility. That doesn't mean that all Black women all around the place, all around the country are susceptible to this virus. I need more information before I would literally be like, this is real. I'm not really going through it yet. But I do think if you are sexually active, you should be getting tested all the time, because there's so many different things that they're putting out there into the environment. It makes more sense to keep on getting tested. But I don't believe this headline. I actually think it's quite misleading.
I thought it was a bit sensational because they mentioned HIV as well, and
yes,
as well. Like, and it's just like, okay, well, what are you pushing here? Like, please tell us what you're pushing. Like, I don't know. I just think it does seem very scaremongery, and yeah.
The correlation, juxtaposing that next to HIV, but when you read the small print, it says you need antibiotics, like a lot of common STIs. Antibiotics is what it is, and that's it. It goes away. That's it. But you're mentioning HIV in the same breath. What are you trying to do, fam? And they're saying that of women with symptoms of TB living in deprived areas, 5.9% were found to have it in comparison to 1.4% living in less deprived areas. Where did they go? This survey is bullshit.
Sorry. My last thing is, like, if it's like remote, and I didn't want anyone to know, I'm easily going to change my race. Of course. That's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to change my race, my age, my name, everything. Seriously. So you can't. I'm serious. So I don't know if I can trust these results. I don't know.
We don't.
I mean, I think they would probably need to be going into testing centers, but who knows?
It says remote testing. Anyway, let's get the comments. It's remote. Let's get the comments and move on, because damn, they're trying to get us, man.
Okay. All right, I only have a few, sorry, because while I was off. So what I can see so far is Gracious Greatness saying, I'm of the Mandem variety, Aunties, by the way. Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks for misgendering me.
We just assumed.
Sorry. With regards to celebrities and thug life, did you hear about the brother who's facing RICO charges? I think Young Thug.
Yeah, we spoke about that.
Yes, and also goes on to say, why are they always sending for us unprovoked? Ebola, they try to spin it and blame us for corona, monkeypox, and now this new STI, apparently. Sorry. As well as obstetric violence, childbirth issues. What's next? Exactly. They need to allow sending for us. Jam their hype.
Exactly. All right. So now let's move on to one of my favorite parts of the show. It is called Aunties Get in Your Business. Aunties Get in Your Business. Aunties Get in Your Business. No, wait, Femi, fix your face. This is a celebration of you, by the way. Auntie get in your bit. Auntie Sade, why are you interrupting?
Because
where's the triangle?
No.
I mean, come on. We went months and months and months. I feel like almost a year without this.
Aunties get
when you have a guest, right? Really bad.
Embarrassing.
You know,
I'm embarrassed.
Business.
Let me space. Man's not amused.
You lot spoke to my freaking concert performance.
Yeah, it was seen out.
From a set of musicians to another musician. How did that go?
Was that great, Uncle Femi?
It was fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. That's why I should feature. I should have been in your new series, but we won't talk about that until we talk about that. All right, this is where we get into Uncle Femi's business. Who's up first? Auntie Nana, I think is you. Oh shoot, I've forgotten something, but we'll do that after. Auntie Nana, go ahead.
Okay, 1 second. Got to scroll. Yes, I am first. Okay, so Uncle Femi, introduce yourself and tell us what you do, and then describe your life right now in one word or a sentence, please.
My name is Femi Oyeniran. I make films. I sometimes act in them, and sometimes I mostly make scripted film. Done a bit of TV. I'm currently doing a TV documentary series, and my life at the moment, hay fever.
I was going to say
bonged up. I'm quite bonged up.
Oh no!
Oh
yeah. Huh?
Are you taking the new? Oh, I can't even find my thing.
No,
But like, there's a new
How
drug.
was it, Auntie Shadi? How was it?
Perfect.
That's the new drug. Share the new drug.
Oh, here it is. It's right here. This, not to give it advertising, but
No, what's crazy is that
are you taking that?
that's called Fexonadine or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been taking that, man.
Oh,
I've had that for a few
serious?
years. I've
Oh,
had that one for a few years. It doesn't
it
really,
saved my life,
these
man.
things don't really work for me. So I have like chronic hay fever, so I'm super struggling. I usually get an injection, but
Oh
I've
wow.
stopped doing it because it's a steroid.
Oh.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Oh, so sorry. Okay.
Mm.
Next.
I just want to leave England. Can I just?
Yeah.
I just want to leave
I hear you.
so that I just don't have to go through this.
Yeah.
I always think it's really strange because they say, oh, hay fever's because of pollen and stuff like that. But everyone I know who has hay fever, whenever they go away, wherever it is that they go, they could be rolling around in the grass. They don't get hay fever. Only in this country. It's the
Oh, and US.
It's put
Oh, in America as well.
Yeah, in New York. Oh, mate.
hay fever is also pollution related as well.
Yeah, I know that. But
Yeah, it is 100%. Because
I'll go.
Because I have it really badly in all, like, I've had it in Paris, I've had it in New York, I've had it here. I've not had it anywhere else.
Man.
So,
have you tried local honey? Have you tried that?
Yeah, I tried it, but it's like, how local can it get?
Well, where I used to live, they had a hive and they sold the honey and it really worked, but then they stopped doing it. Yeah, it really actually
You need
worked.
to start a beehive.
Yeah, same with bees.
Thing with Beyonce, maybe you'll get better. All right, I'll shut it. Next question.
That was good.
Okay, so although you're a filmmaker and program maker, you definitely did, like a good Niger boy, you done that academic thing as well. Was this like, for you, was this like, so you studied law, right? And what kind of came first, the love of film or the love of law? And was it plan A to make way for plan B?
You know what? It's weird because like everyone says that, but as a kid, I wanted to be a barrister because I remember like being about 10 or 11 and I found out that barristers make, can't remember, like 6 figures a year or something. I was like, yeah, I want that job because I wanted money. Like, do you know what I mean? I was that kid that was like, I realized, I remember like one of my dad's friends once, I stayed over at theirs and then family friends and they were dropping me back home and the dad said, oh, so what do you want to be when you're older? I said, I want to be rich. Like, I looked at Uncle, I said, Uncle said, but you know, you can't, being rich is not a job. And to me, that was the first day it occurred to me that being rich wasn't a job. And so I thought, oh, so I should think about what I want to be. So like most boys, I wanted to be a footballer. And then I realized like in the playground that, nah, this is not for me. I'm not even the best hit, let alone in the world. And so then I decided I wanted to be a barrister very young because I like to argue and I'm always giving people chat back. And so then I was always going to do law because that was my plan from a young age. And then I liked acting as well, but I never, ever thought about it as a real career.
Okay.
It just didn't seem real to me because it sounds mad now because we've got the internet, everyone's on camera all the time and this and that. But when you think back to like early 2000s, yeah, trying to be an actor, there wasn't Instagram, there wasn't Twitter, there wasn't like, I'm talking like, this is how mad the internet and technological advances have been in the past like sort of 20 years. And we've not even taken it in. Like the world has changed in so many different ways. Remember, we had polyphonic ringtones before it was lit. Like there was like all these little things that seem so old and not even that old. They're from like So Solid were around.
Yeah.
You're talking about So Solid members now. Like, you know, like this is not even that old. Like you're talking about Swiss doing Black Pound Day. Like we think like this is so long ago, but what has changed is the technological advances has made it seem like, oh, why wouldn't you think you'd be an actor? But at the time, I'd never seen an actor in my life before because every actor that I'd ever seen was on TV. I remember I saw like you remember like there was the Truman Brothers on EastEnders? Is that what they were called?
Yeah. Chicken.
Yeah. So like, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm just my light so you can see me. Now you can't see me. Gonna try.
We can see you.
We can see you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there were these brothers. I remember I saw one of them on the tube coming out of the tube station. I was like, oh my gosh, he's an actor. Like, you know, the good brother, the one that was married to Kat or something.
Oh
like
yeah.
that. I used to watch EastEnders hard back in the day, as you could tell. So like,
I think we all did.
Yeah, because we had no choice. Again, because of technology.
Yeah, true.
Because of technology, we had like 5 channels. So like everyone watched EastEnders, everyone watched Emmerdale, everyone watched Coronation Street at least once in a week because we had no choice. Now that we have choice, we can like make all these choices. But anyway, I just didn't think I liked acting. I just didn't think you could do it as a real job. I didn't think it was possible. It wasn't even like my mom was telling me it's not a real job. It wasn't viable because in my estate there were no actors.
I feel you.
And I would follow on from that. Then how did you build on your love for creating visual content? And did you start when you realized, acting is a job, filmmaking and creating content is a job? How did you build on that?
When it happened, it wasn't even that. It's like what happened was I just got a role in kidulthood.
Oh, serious?
Like bam, that was it. It was like bam. That was my first job in life.
And how did you get? No, you didn't just walk onto set and get a job. How
did you audition?
So I went to an open audition for
Okay.
kidulthood. Like Noel Clark wanted to audition kids from his old college because he wanted authentic kids in this film because they were auditioning actors, but the actors were like stage school kids. So they couldn't do the street thing. And so they went round to all the colleges in West London, including my old one, St. Charles, and auditioned me. But then my whole college was, you know, like college back in the day, I loved college so much because it was mad because it was all common, everyone in the common room. College was the best because it's like you're not wearing school uniform, you got your own swag. It's like you're still figuring out who you want to be in the world. But I remember that day starting college late after lunchtime. So I didn't know there was an audition for this film. I didn't even know about this film. So luckily for me, though, I'm finishing drama class in the drama hall where they were auditioning people. And I just see everyone start coming in. Clark, brother, I said, oh, you do acting? He goes, yeah. I goes, what, is that a real... I actually said to him, like, do you make money from that? Remember, this is a hustle experience. Remember, like, the thing is, like, I always say, I saw Yinka and Laurie the other day. He's my friend from school. We went, like, used to sit next to each other in school. He's now, like, a fine artist and he's doing great things in the world. And I said to him, Yinka, do you know what we are? We are different versions, versions of what we were as kids. Because in school, I was the kid selling CDs and chocolates to make money. I was that kid. I was him. I was he. Like, and so when like I'm here now trying to hustle films, hustle this, like whenever Daniel Kaluuya sees me, he's like, Fem, like this is what you were like in school. I knew you were gonna do this. Like, you know, because really the reason I know Daniel Kaluuya was he's 2 years younger than me. We went to the same school, but the only reason I know him is because I used to sell him sweets and chocolates at school. Remember, I'm in year 9. I'm in year 9. He's in year 7. I'm no
easy targets.
A year 7 kid. But the only reason I'm talking to all the kids in school is that I'm like hustling these things, and like Daniel was one of my customers. That's the only reason I know him.
So
I love that.
Study filmmaking at all or nothing? It was just learning on the go.
What happened was like, you know, I'm on set and then I'm doing, and then I knew I did my law degree, finished my law degree. So I did kidulthood before I went to uni. And then it came out in my first year of uni. And then the sequel came out the year I was finishing uni. So it was almost like dovetailed, like, you know, it was bookended by kidulthood and adulthood. And then I come out of uni and I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to carry on doing this acting thing. I know quite a lot about, you know, the industry. And then it was a hard year. And I was like, oh, why don't I start making content? Now, funny enough, in that year, like one of my friends was working at some council and he said they had funding for people to do short films. And then I like wrote a script and then I tried to do this short film called Fresh Off the Boat, which was semi-autobiographical because I grew up in Nigeria. I moved there when I was 10. And it wasn't that good. But then I started to do these like little things to try to figure out how to make films. And so like I learned from practice rather than from school, because I knew I didn't want to go to school again, like straight away.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to work in this industry, but I knew the only way to survive in this industry was to be not just at the time. I think now it's different. It's weird. It's like if I was patient, I think I could have just been an actor because there's more opportunities for Black actors now. But at the time, we were so early, there wasn't that much opportunity. There was an opportunity, like me and Adam Deacon were competing for the same roles all the time. Or me and Amel and me were competing for the same. Like, do you know what I mean? It was like, we were all going for one role and there was one role every 3 months. And so if you're not in that project in that 3 month or like that year, or you're not in the bill, that big bill episode where Mel was finishing, then you're not working for 6 months. So I realized that I needed to make my own content. And so then I started to work. In that year, I did a short film. And then I started Cut the Chat. I was trying to make it into a YouTube show. So then I shot a documentary about Black fatherhood, funny enough, with David Lammy, and that's never really seen the light of day as well. But like, it was a lot of my learning stuff has never really seen the light of day. But that documentary could have been mad because it had like Eddie Caddy in it, myself, Tiny Temper, Spike Lee, Trevor McDonald, David Lammy, so many guys, Kwame Kwei-Amar, everyone just talking about their experience of Black fatherhood. Like that will pop.
That needs to come out.
That will pop now. Like, you know what I mean? But a lot of things, I just feel like in a weird sort of way, like a lot of the times in my career, I've been quite early on stuff. Like, and so then there's no reference, so you're just forging your own way. Like Kidulthood was like an exception in that it was a successful Black British film, but usually they're not even that successful.
Yeah,
like, they weren't popping like that. And so because you're part of this successful thing, you have to keep following up that success. Then you start like a YouTube show, but no one didn't really know what YouTube was. Like this was at a time that YouTube clips had to be 10 minutes. So I was getting Ed Sheeran, who I was friends with at the time, in the barbershop, but interviewing him for 2 hours and then condensing it in 10 minutes.
Wow.
And then I was doing that with like Ashley Waters. I was doing that with like Robert Sheehan. I was doing it. All my friends, all the people that I was friends with, I was making them come and cut the chat at that time. But it was like, it had to be 10 minutes because that was the restriction. And then I took it off YouTube and put it on Vimeo, but we weren't getting as much views on Vimeo. But it was like, there was like, I feel like I suffered a lot in my career. But what I'm massively, like, I'd say like I'm doing really well, I'm successful. But there's certain things I just did too early. Like I was way before my time. And so
that's interesting you say that. I think almost everybody in our generation has exactly the same thoughts.
Yeah.
Like we were just doing things before the technology was there. And if we were like 10 years younger, or it was 10 years before, we would all be in such different positions now. But it's just the technology wasn't there. That's interesting.
It's really interesting.
Auntie Farah,
So it's funny that you were talking about how you kind of like got into acting and then that led on to you producing content and that led on to you doing other things. But what is it that you love most? Like, where's in all of that creativity, what is your happy place?
Acting's the easiest job out of all the jobs. Because you just have to act.
Some people can't do that though.
I think you're not giving yourself the right amount.
No. I'm saying it's the easiest in terms of like psychologically, like you just have one focus. Obviously, this is the thing. Acting's hardest. Like what? I'll talk to you about that. So acting, you have to get a job. You have to audition. You have to go to a job interview.
Yeah.
Every few weeks, every few months, you're constantly going for job interviews. Most adults do like, maybe now it's changing because people change jobs a lot. But back in the day, people do like maximum like 3-4 job interviews in their life. Maybe now 10, like because people change jobs all the time. Or even 20 if you like, right? Actors do that in like a few months. So you basically have to impress people to give you a job constantly. sometimes people are not really trying to get. It's just like any job, right? There's nepotism. So if someone's auntie and uncle knows someone's auntie and uncle, that person's getting a role anyway. So like, it's hard to get an acting job. But when you get an acting job, it's the sweetest job because they pick you up. You don't have to do anything. You just have to act. So they pick you up, they feed you, they tell you where to stand, they tell you when to stand there. Like, there's just so many things, so many layers of it that makes it like they create almost like the perfect condition for you to act. Do you get what I mean? And so it's like, in a way, it's like, it's a great job when you get it, but like actually what makes actors like, what makes it psychologically draining is that you're not always working. In other creative forms, you don't have to wait for permission to create. So if I meet, say, I met Burna Boy, right, in LA a few years ago, and he's like, I'm a massive fan. He's a massive fan of mine. Facts. Got it on camera, everything. Massive fan. I love you. I've been watching you my whole life. You're a legend. I'm like, you're a legend. We're doing this.
Legend talking.
I want to be like you, bro. Yeah, bro. All of that. And he's like, yeah, I want to be in your next film. Put me, what you did in Jamaica, I'll come and do it in Nigeria and I'll be in it. Yeah. I was like, okay, cool. Now, normally for an actor, right, if that was an actor, they have to audition, they have to go through that. In this, like, maybe we'll do something with Burna Boy. But the point is, in order for that collaboration to happen, it takes a lot. I have to raise money, write the script. You see, if I was an artist, me and Burna Boy would have had a tune like 2 years ago.
Yeah, okay, I get you.
It's quick. All the other art forms are quick. You can just create because you feel like it. You can collaborate really quickly. It's easily accessible. But film and acting and all of that, it's hard to access. And the opportunities are hard to come by. And so you end up in a situation where psychologically, a lot of actors find it draining. And then, like you see with Adam Deacon, he had a mental health breakdown because it's hard to go from winning a BAFTA to not being able to get work, and then to falling out with someone that was your mentor at a point. And like, there's so much that goes with it. Whereas like, as a fine artist, you can pick up your paintbrush and you can make this on the wall, funny tummy. Or you can go studio, you can record. You don't even have to go studio. You can record in your living room with a nice mic and then send it to studio to get mixed down. Or you can design clothes and get it made. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, but the art industry is very hard to access.
Gotcha.
I don't know what my question was.
You answered it. Don't worry.
You answered it.
I know it. Which one do I like better? I like acting because it's the one that you don't have to go out and raise money and spend hours writing a script for. Whereas like, I do really enjoy everything else as well.
Okay.
All right. So my one is and you've done lots of different things, but you've also built up lots of relationships with people. So your business partners, and then even like creating Cut the Chat with all of those guys as well. It's like you're always working with lots of different people and collaborating. And we never hear anything bad about you, Femi. It's always like good news.
Not yet.
Your name is mentioned. Well, we hope that this stays. Touch wood and everything else. Praise the Lord.
I'm batting the wood right now.
But what is your secret sauce, though? What do you think you have about you why you're really easy to work with and people are generally very praising of you as well?
I'm honest. I don't really lie, and like, people hate it because I come across as abrasive sometimes because I just tell the truth. Like, I just say what I feel about stuff. I don't give people BS. Like, when I'm thinking about stuff, I let you know what I'm thinking. I let you know, like, if I don't like something. And like I said, people don't like that. Like, you know, like but no one can badmouth you for being honest.
Yeah.
They can say like, I didn't like the way he said that to me. They can't say like he's a bad person because he told me how he felt.
Yeah. That's interesting.
That's it.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
I think
that's quite abrasive, yeah.
I think that's key. I think that's key to operating in an industry where people are not necessarily always honest and people are always very direct, or people are always scheming or looking out for themselves and all of that stuff. And I never say I'm gonna do stuff that I can't do. If I don't understand something, I say I don't know it, or like I can't do it. And I think that's just the key, because this industry is so hard and people lie a lot anyway, that I didn't want to add to that. And I just think that's it. Just be honest.
I like that.
Cool. So we have a few things in common. So you're Nigerian, I'm Nigerian, you're a business owner, I'm a business owner. Can you tell us, like, what are your like key tips for like running a business, especially in the creative space?
You know what's weird? Like, what I learned recently, my key tip is always keep some money in the bank. Because like, always, when you get that big bag, yeah, don't spend it all. Always hold some of it, because I've been doing a lot of projects. Well, I've done quite a few things recently where I've not been paid when I've expected to be paid, and we would have been in a lot of trouble financially if we didn't have money in the bank. And so, and which is hard to do because it's your money. Right? And so like obviously me and Nikki Slim Ting, like, we're business partners. So a lot of my business that I do, like, I'd say like maybe 80%, maybe 75% is with him, right? And so like we have money there that we could just spend. Like, we could just go to the bank and like draw it out and then spend it. But we don't, and we have like financial discipline in that way, in that we always keep money aside. And I just think that's the top. What I'm learning recently that has helped us, because like there's big invoices that have not come through, but we've been able to tide, we've been able to cover cost in the meantime. And also I just feel like one of the obstacles in the creative industry is that they never pay you your invoice when you need it.
Yep.
And so it's almost like, and I also think it's a bit racist, you know?
Yeah.
I'll tell you why, because I think it's racist because I feel like it's a barrier to entry. If you're a rich kid already, or your company is financed by a bigger company, you always have money from the bigger company to support your company. So if you're a black company, you don't, and that you're independent and you're fully 100% owned by black people, yourself or whatever, you might not have that. And so you can't actually compete in the industry because you don't have the money to take part in the first place.
Right.
And so, like I said, if we didn't have money in the bank, there's like things that I don't obviously like want to start talking like names of companies and stuff, but like there's big companies that have just owed me and Nikki money for time. But like we spent that money like 2 months ago or like a month ago. But like when are you paying us? But if we weren't in a financially steady place to be able to cover that or to see that through, we would be owing people money, and then we look bad. We look like those black boys that like, you know, those black guys, like those uncles from back in the day that like, oh yeah, you ran off of the funding. You ran off of the funding. But the funding was never there.
Stop it.
No, but, you know, like, there was always back in the day, yeah, you always hear rumors about, oh, this guy got all that funding from here, or he got financing from, and then he ran off of the money. But then that's what it looks like if you're not paying people's invoices. But sometimes your invoice is not being paid.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. And there was no funding.
In the first place.
£0.
And so I just feel like, you know, that's key learning that I'm having this year. Like, it's a new learning. And then I also just think it's the hardest thing about running a business, I think, is someone described Sincere, actually, the rapper who's also like manages lots of artists now. He said something like, he described it perfectly today. A few weeks ago to me, he said you need today money and you need tomorrow money.
Yeah.
And so today money is money to keep tiding over. Tomorrow money is like chasing new business. The hardest thing in business is striking the balance between chasing today money and tomorrow money, because you want to do your day-to-day, like, I'll use me for an example. You want to make documentary for like BET and do like, evolution of Black British, that's day-to-day, like, right? But then there's bigger projects. Like, I've got projects, Hollywood projects, right? That's tomorrow money, but it's like, actually, I need to pay my bills today.
Yeah. That's amazing. Of all the projects under your belt, It's a Lot, the Intent franchise, your production company, Fan Studios, the upcoming BET documentary that you just mentioned, the evolution of Black British music, which I should have been in based on my musical talents. Of all the work that you've done so far, which best represents who you are as a creative? What's the one that's like, yeah, that's perfectly signpost the person that the creative that I want to be and I want to be renowned for?
So a lot of my projects are behind who I am as a person. Most of my projects, because it takes a while to get funding for projects, and so the projects are always like maybe 5 years behind who I am, like as a person, all the time, like. So it's hard for me to say, but I'd say like I love the Intent because what it did for me, it showed me that we can create something. Like, it was fully financed by Black people. We released it ourselves. And then that film sold all around the world, right? And it showed me that we don't need external money. It made me realize that there's power. There's a Black pound. There's power in Black people, and we can create stuff. We can create ideas. We can create visions ourselves and bring them to life ourselves. Like, every aspect of that project was financed by Black people. So I love what it means, like, to me as a person, like, you know, and it made money. Like, everyone made their money back. They made profit. Like, and there was just something special magical about the fact that this film that I made has Nicki on the phone to Dame Dash, has me on the phone to Busta Rhymes, has me on the phone. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, this little British, but they've watched it. Like, it's on Netflix in America. These people are fans of this work. So I like the Intents because of what they mean to me as a person. The evolution of Black British music is probably the most important piece of work I've ever done, because no one's ever done something like that. No Black British person has done something like that. And also, it's a piece of Black British history. Like, I've got Skibberdy's last interview before he passed. Like, that's mad. Like, you know, like, obviously I'm only using a few minutes of it in the documentary, but I've got an hour of Skibberdy talking about his musical journey. Like, no one's ever done that. Like, you know, I've got 2 hours of Mega Man talking about So Solid journey in my rushes. Like, you know, I've got Nene talking about the challenges of being a Black woman and having a hit at that time. Like, I've got the Flowers girl saying like she watched the video for the first time and cried.
Oh,
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, there's like, I mean, it's and that's like even before I get into like the grime interviews and like the Neo and all of these different things. So like, for me, I just feel like it's the most important piece of work that I've done, because like, you know, I've got like maybe 80 something, 90 contributors from like Black British music talking about their contribution. And I just feel like actually part of my role is to shine a light on the experiences of Black people all around the world, but from a UK perspective, because this is where I live. And so the evolution of Black British music does that the most out of all the work that I've done.
Fair enough. Thank you. Can't wait to watch it.
I cannot wait to see it.
Great. Can't wait to see it. So, I mean, you've got your fingers in a lot of different pies. So what is it that you do? How do you take time out for yourself? What does self-care look like for you? And who do you lean on to keep you sane?
People always say that, you know. Do you know what's mad? It's like I've got this cycle. I need to bring it to an end because I'm getting old now and it's not sustainable. So what I do, I just go, and then I crash, and then I rest. And then I'll go, and then I'll crash, and then I rest. But it's not working. And so what I think I need to do more is balance it out. And so what do I do every week? I train. I started training. I train like maybe like 3 or 4 times a week. I used to train like every day, like 2018, 2019, I was training like every day. But now I don't really have as much time. So I train like maybe 3, 4 times a week. I also do you know I love music? I love music. I listen to music all the time, and I like like Sade will tell you, like Nigerian culture, right? It's like Yoruba culture is party culture. Like, I was talking to some guy, he was Hausa, he was like, so you went partying in Lagos? Yoruba parties. Because like the Yoruba people know how to party. Like that's the war vibes. Like that's our thing. Like, and so like I feel like in a way that's part of the tradition of who I am, and I like partying, I like stuff like that. So, but I need to change. I need to like take breaks and stuff. I need to get massages and do little spa things and stuff like that. But I don't, to be honest, I don't.
You need to. I just want to interject and say, yes, Femi is that when you're out at a party with Femi and Femi's there, you will see him on the dance floor in the middle. I'll be next to him, but that's how it goes. He dances. You enjoy. You're not one of the people that stand on the sidelines looking mean. You enjoy.
No. I think that's like, I think that like dancing and like to music and to percussion based music, right, is part of being black.
Yes.
I just feel like it's wired into your. I feel like you're being, that's part of the true blackness.
It's very true.
Spiritual, man. It's in us.
It is.
That's why throughout the globe, it's the same thing.
Okay, my question. All right, so I absolutely love podcasts and love you guys' podcasts as well, Cut the Chat. I wish it was still going in its original form, like actually in the
barbershop.
In the barbershop, all of you guys together. I think that would just be great at this moment in time. But you're generally, everybody would go to you as like the guy that was like the political one, the more of like the father figure of the podcast. So we just had Father's Day on Sunday. And there's always this chat of women jumping on Father's Day and being like, I'm mum and dad, so it's my day. What do you think about that when women jump on Father's Day and make it about themselves?
I think women could do whatever they like because we're all here because of women, right? And I think the thing with Father's Day, right? I never grew up with my dad. My dad died when I was 1, or even less, like 11 months or something. And so I would argue that actually it's only now that there's certain things that I realize that I'm older and I've got a relationship with my sons. I've got 2 sons, right? I didn't miss not having a dad because I didn't know what it was like to have a dad. Right. Right. But there's certain things that me and my sons talk about, or I tell them about, or I teach them about. So one of my sons is like, one of my sons says to his brother, just now, says to his brother, how's business? and the older son looks at him like, why are you saying that in front of that? I'm like, no, you can talk. Go and tell me. And so it turns out this kid is selling like fans to his friends because they don't have in school, right?
And tree,
right? Exactly. So the kid's selling fans, and I said to him, but why don't you want to tell me about this business? I can advise you. I've been doing business all my life, right? And so then he starts explaining to me how much they charge, and then he says like, this girl's holding all the money, and I'm like, why is she holding all the money? Do you have access to that money? And I'm explaining and I'm breaking all these things down to him. Obviously we're having jokes, right? But this like him selling fans, right? And now the business, he's only sold 1 fan so far. The girl wants to sell it for £1, but he thinks 50p is a good price point, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, those types of conversations are like those little things reminds me that like there's certain things that my dad could have told me about. There's little things. Like there's things like I remember last week one of my friends was talking about something and I was just like, you know what, if only like really I could have just asked my dad, like if my dad was out. And so in a way I just think like men are important. I think obviously women could say, oh, I could be the mom and the dad, like men are important and the man's role is important. I don't know how tangible and how you can measure it, or I don't know. But what I do know is that actually, in my observation about into my relationship with my sons, I realized there's certain things that I just didn't have, because I did have uncles and stuff in my life, but I didn't look at them as a father. I didn't look up to them. I didn't look at them as a guide. And so it was always fake. I had a stepdad, but my stepdad, I didn't look at him as my dad ever. Like, and so it was never full. And so, yeah, I don't think aunties should be saying they are the mums and the dads, because the dads are valuable too.
Okay. Who's next? Was it me?
Oh, it's me. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Thank you for that. But when it's all said and done,
yeah,
what do you want to be known for? What do you want to have achieved?
Quickly, you know, that was the last question we asked everyone in the documentary.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're onto something then.
Yeah, but do you know what's funny? We didn't even really use it as well, but it'll be interesting to see what everyone said, actually, because I'm gonna watch it back. I want to know what Skibber said. But when it's all said and done, I just want to have a legacy, man. I wanna have impacted people's lives in a positive way. And I want to have a legacy. I want my sons to be like, you know, like people like, that's blah blah son, or like my dad was this, like when they're talking about their dad, like my dad did this. Like I think it's important to me that my sons are proud to be my sons.
Yeah, I feel you.
Love that.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
That's a good one. So now we're moving on to the quick fire round. These are quick questions, quick answers. Yeah, quick answers. So I know already, but what's your relationship status? Where's your other half? Actually, I want to know, how did you you're married. Like, how did you propose? Did you get down on one knee? Did you do a big ceremony, or I want to marry you? Did you have balloons and fireworks, or was it like?
You know what? I'm so happy Instagram wasn't popping, and my missus hates this, yeah. And we say it to each other. I say it all the time. She hates that I say this all the time. I'm always like, oh, Instagram, yeah, has put everyone under stress. And I'm like, oh, I'm so glad, because remember, I missed online dating, I missed Instagram, I missed this, I missed that. So the pressure of all of that just wasn't there. All you could do was tweet about my thing. You could. you could.
What did you do? How did you propose?
Yeah, it was just like, you know, it wasn't mad romantic still. I just was like, oh, would you marry me? Like, it wasn't an event.
Did you do it at dinner?
It was at Cambridge. She was at Cambridge at the time studying. So yeah, it was that.
Okay.
At least there's a bit of Harry Potter settings and stuff.
Yeah, it was Harry Potter settings. I love it. No, but it's mad. But Cambridge did look like Harry Potter.
It does. It
looks like Harry Potter. But yeah, it was very simple. The thing is that, you know, there's certain things in life, right? I just feel like there's so many. Most aspects of my life are quite grand.
Okay.
Like personal things, I sometimes like simple. Like Father's Day, I was just at home with my sons. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be outside in a restaurant, because that's what I do all the time.
Yeah, I hear
and
you.
We're tired of being outside. You see, when you're outside, when your career is being like 50% or like 30%, say, like 30% is more realistic of my life is being outside. I don't want to be outside. I just want to be inside.
I'm glad that's what you want, but I'm going to talk. We should get your wife on and say, where do you want to be, sis? Anyway, that's Clara. Go.
So you've got sons. What are they like? And is one more like you than the other?
It's funny. I've got two sons. One of them looks like me, but likes his mum more than he likes me. The other one looks more like, really looks like my sister and his mum's mum, which is weird. Like he looks more like them, and he looks up to me more than anything in the world. I mean, I think he's forging his own way and he wants to be his own person. But at a time, like that's like my biggest fan. Like I can easily say, like that's my biggest fan. And like I'm his huge fan as well. I'm both because people are saying which son do you like more. I like both of them, like and at different times, and I dislike both of them at different times as well.
Yeah. That is how it goes.
I don't know how parents, like some parents can pick, like that's my favorite. You must have 10 to be able to pick your favorite, because my two, I can't even pick, like, because I really, really adore both of them. And so yeah, they do look like me. One of them does look like me, like my twin. And I say my twin, he's like, no, I don't look like you, I look like myself.
Well, my daughter says that. They act like you though. Do you see yourself in them?
So my older son, who doesn't necessarily look like me, emotes like me and talks in a similar way to me. So like he does the facial expressions, the hands and all of that stuff. And like, so if you see him, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's Femi's son. Because he's like, even though it doesn't look like me, his characteristics and the way he expresses himself is so similar to me. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's Femi's son. Whereas the younger one definitely is more of his own man. And but it's interesting, like they both do acting, which is funny to me. I think it's hilarious.
That's interesting.
Because they chose it, and everyone's like, oh, did you make them do acting? I don't really care. No one's trying to make them do anything. Like, just go to school, bro. No one's trying to make you do nothing. So they both do acting, which I think is really funny and interesting.
Are you an uncle already?
I feel like, what, in life?
Yeah. Like, do you have like nieces and nephews or people?
No, so I've only got one sister. She's younger than me. She's 27.
Okay.
She doesn't have kids, but I've got like Nigerian nieces and
yeah. Okay. What type of uncle are you then? Like
I'm the uncle. I'm the like, eat sweets. You want to do that? Do it. You want money? Take it. I'm the one that the mums don't like because I'm forever giving them kids. I just say yes to them. I'm like, I never say no. You want to do that? Yeah. So I'm that uncle. I'm the yes uncle.
Give us an instance where you went into full uncle mode.
I mean, I don't, right? Because I just say yes to everything.
So you never had to pull anyone up?
No, I always say yes. I don't even tell off the kids like that.
Oh.
One time, I lost my son, my younger son, at a premiere, a big premiere. Right?
It's like worst nightmare.
It was like I was telling their mum. Their mum said, "I feel sick, even you telling me about it." I'm like, "No, he's with me right now." She's like, "No, but the thought of it makes me sick."
Yeah.
But I was with my godson and my older son. So I turned around, turned back, the kid's not there. I'm like, where is he? They're looking at me like that. I wanted to punch them so bad.
I hear
like, but it was just standing right next to you. They're like,
yeah. Oh my God.
And this kid could barely speak at the time, you know.
Oh no.
Wow.
Like he was like maybe 3.
Where was he?
It was at Leicester Square premiere, you know.
Mate.
So imagine he had walked out of the door of the cinema in Leicester Square and gone into the square. We're looking for him all around the cinema.
No way.
Eventually, the police found him.
Oh my God.
Back to the cinema. And we asked him afterwards what happened. He was like, well, I saw everybody going away, so I go away. And then we were like, oh, so what did you say to the police? He was like, oh, I said I'm with my daddy Femi. In my head I was busting up. I'm like, how many Femis are there in the world? That's like saying Bob. That's saying Bob. I had to all teach them how to say their surname, how to spell it. After that, the kids like 2, 3. I'm like, this is how you say it. Oh yeah, Nero. Oh yeah.
This is my phone number.
Like,
That's
literally,
the scariest story ever.
That is.
it was insane.
Auntie Shad.
Wow. Okay, so obviously we're your favorite aunties now. So
Yeah.
because we are, what we would like you to do is to tell us a secret. Tell us something that your parents don't know, maybe your wife doesn't know, like, because you know, aunties, we collect all the tea. So tell us something.
Immediately.
I'm trying to think. I'm not a secretive person.
You went St. Charles, you got some secrets.
Mm,
Funny.
I know you've seen some stuff.
That's funny. A secret. I can't even think because I don't really have that many secrets.
That many.
Yeah, I don't really think like I'm just thinking of dumb things.
One of those you can share.
Alright, so the only dumb thing I can think of, I've definitely stolen like sweets from the Safeway or the Morrisons in Holloway before.
These are Safeways as
The
well.
ones that used to sell.
Yeah, no, the ones I used to sell, I had to buy them because I used to get to the Safeway Morrisons before it opened, and so I was like one of the only few people in the shop when it opened. So like, it's hard to steal them. But yeah, I definitely have stolen from there before, but I can't remember. Might have been a Freddo or something, or I might have just taken the chocolate and just ate it. Like that.
Very, very shameful on you. Shame. Okay.
Well, I feel like I've got a better secret than that, but I just can't think of one right now.
Okay.
We'll get it out of you. Don't worry. We'll have you back and you will tell us by force. Okay, now you've said that. You've now admitted that you have been stealing in your young days. Redeem yourself. Tell us something that make us proud. Tell us something that you're really, really proud of. That just really like, you know what? Yeah. You're very proud of. Make us very proud of you so we can sing your praises even more.
Ooh, I'm something that I don't know, like I can't really think. These are the hardest questions. You see, like I've got answers for everything.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you proud of? What makes you like, yeah, man? I suppose maybe you already said that in 10 and this new documentary, but is there anything that could even like a personal mission, personal victory, you're like, yeah, you're actually proud of?
You know what? Yeah, I'm proud that I went, like, you know, that I've got a law degree from like London School of Economics. The aunties all love that. You aunties should definitely. That aunties.
This is what it is.
The aunties love that one. The aunties love that one. But I think that's a good thing. Like, I think it's definitely important that, you know, LSE is like basically like an Ivy League university equivalent, like UK. And so in a way, it's like I think that's something that I'm forever proud of. I might even go back to school one day. MBA. I might do an MBA.
Okay.
Go ahead. See, we are very proud of that. Then you get the big slice of cake.
Side note to that: have you ever been in a situation where you've had to like use the law on someone?
Yes.
Like say, like if I don't know, you've like police have tried to stop you, something that you're doing, or you've been in a situation where you know the law. Have you ever had to start saying to them, actually, John versus Clark, 2000 or whatever it is? Have you ever had to do anything like that?
I have definitely not done that because I'm always rude to police.
Oh,
like, I'm never gonna lie to you. There was one time, this is a funny story. We're on a family holiday in South Africa. The police pulls me over, this auntie, right? And I'm being rude to this auntie. My missus like, Femi, what you doing? Because she hates when I get stopped by police because I'm always rude. It's like a switch. I've probably been polite to like a few police officers in my life when they've stopped me because they never stop me. You never want to be stopped, right? And so like, it's like they're being a nuisance. This auntie stopped me, right? And I'm being rude. And then my missus tapped me and I've just realized that I'm I'm in another country. They've got guns here. The police might just beat me up and kill me at the side of this road.
Right.
And then she was like, I said, why did you stop me? She's like, I've stopped you. And I'm like, and then my miss was like, you know, like when they're tapping your leg, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then she's like, she said blah 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 blah. She's like, why are you talking to me like that? I'm like, she said, I'm gonna give you a ticket because your light wasn't on. So they're like, I'm driving this hire car, the light is off in the car, and I've not realized. Because you know, like my car, I don't ever turn on the light. The light is just auto.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not turned on this higher car light. And then she's gone, why is the light not on? Blah blah. I'm gonna give you a ticket. I'm like, you're not gonna do that. Like that, you know, like that. Like I'm still in kindergarten. Like I'm in kindergarten. I'm like, you're not gonna do that. She's gone, of course I am. This is it. I've gone, why do you think I'm not gonna do that? I've gone to her, oh, because you're my sister. Because my missus is like, I've switched so quickly because I've realized, oh my gosh, I'm on a dark road in the middle of nowhere in SA.
Wow.
God.
Wow.
And I'm being rude to the police officer that just pulled me over for no reason. But yeah, and then I went on to apologize and said I was from England. But I use the law every day. I do like all the legals. Like I do to a certain degree of legals on all my projects.
Yeah.
So like actually in a way, like there's deals that I'm involved in that I understand the legals a lot more easily than like the people that I'm doing the deals with. Like there's like little business moves that we've done, like we've got our stake in the London Lions, like me and Nikki. That's like something that that was a deal that I looked over. So I'm constantly, I do law every day. It's really weird. It's like I said, everything that I wanted to be as a kid, I do it in my job now.
Yeah. Good.
I love that.
It's cool, man.
I love that.
It's amazing. Right. So just thinking about family and growing up and stuff like that, what is a family saying or tradition that you either hold very dear and practice in your life now, or you think later, no, I don't like that. That was rubbish. I'm not going to do that or say that.
My mom always used to say to me, like, remember whose son you are. And I don't even know what I feel about that. But I just remember, like, my mom used to bang that every day, like, remember whose son you are. I don't even know what that means. I don't even say it to my sons now. Maybe I should put them under pressure.
It's like remember
whose son you are.
So you don't embarrass anyone, isn't it?
Yeah. Hold yourself up. Where you come from.
Right. So
Yeah,
you have
exactly.
the way you carry yourself.
Yeah.
Hold yourself correctly, and I just think it's I think it's important. I think it's an important saying. But at the time, I just remember finding it a bit like, I don't even know how to. What do you mean? Remember who said you are? You know who I am, bro. Like, you know who I am? That's what I was thinking in my head. Do you know who I am?
You're just any mum. You said
you were never saying that out loud.
No, I was saying
you say it in your head. You're just any mum.
All these stuff I'm saying in my head, like, me. You know who I am? Like, it's like I was such a, like, in my like, one of my sons once said something. It was really young. I said to him, do you think of yourself as an adult or as a kid? He said, no, I think of myself as myself.
Yeah.
And I laughed so much because that's something I would have said as a kid. I was one of those kids. I was one of those. I think of myself as myself. I thought I was smarter than adults as a kid. I was one of those kids. So yeah. So when my son was saying, "Remember whose son," my mom was saying, "Remember whose son you are." I was just thinking, bro, remember whose mom you are, bro. Like,
okay, all right. So last one. As we're aunties, let us solve one of your problems, or we can give you unsolicited advice.
wow.
Do you have a problem for us to solve?
Do I have a problem?
A little dilemma.
So you know what, yeah? Someone did something wrong to me. Do I have to tell you the details?
As much as you can.
Loosely, yeah, as much as you can.
Incriminating anybody.
The premise.
No, let's leave that one. Let's leave that one. Let me do a joke.
Sounded juicy.
Yeah, let me do a jokes one because this one might be too hard to tell without saying names and stuff. Let me do a funny one. So one of my friends called me, yeah, and she was like, her partner, she got with someone, and he was really nice. They go out, blah blah blah, and then he gets with her, and she realizes that he's got child support settings. So he's got two guys. He's got two kids, sorry, with two different moms, and like obviously he's got child support, so the money gets taken out of his pay packet, and he reckons he only has like a few £100s left after they've done that. And this is not my dilemma, but I just think it's funny, and I think you should be able to come up with answers to this. And then the guy then would always like suggest going out or doing different things, but obviously like not want to follow through. Well, she'll be like, oh, should we do this on the weekend? He'll be like, yeah, if you want to. Obviously, he doesn't have money to back it. And then he then says like she can't be liking guys' pictures on Instagram that have like abs and stuff, like gym guys, like why she's doing that and all of that stuff. And then obviously he's like, oh, he's gonna take her to Nigeria to meet his mom and blah 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 blah. All of this stuff, yeah. In this scenario, yeah, what should she do?
So what?
This guy was very nice. This guy was very nice. Yeah, took her out. Blah blah blah. Turns out he doesn't have that much money, right? Okay. No problem, because he's got child support. He has to pay for his kids to live, which every man should prioritize anyway.
Yeah,
I just don't get those men that don't put that as like top of their budget. But anyway, that's another conversation for another day. And then he then tells her, like, he starts being a little bit controlling. You can't do this on IG. You can't do that on IG. Blah 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 blah. What do you think about that?
He doesn't have the financial means to control anybody. I think it's that cut and dry. Like he can't. He doesn't have it to be able to start doing that to somebody else. Like,
yeah,
really,
he needs
to cut it loose.
He needs to date within his financial means. That's for
Precisely.
sure. Like, he's
but
dating.
she likes him. She likes him though.
He does like him, but he kind of brought her in on kind of like a false premise. Do you know what I mean? Like, and now she's discovered the truth. He's got issue. First of all, I think in the most politest way, let me see some paperwork to see if that is the case. Is, do you know what I mean? You've only got a few £100s. Let's see some statements. Let's see, maybe I can help you manage your budget a little bit better, kind of thing, so we can do all the things that we want to do if you're properly serious. But no, they're not matched. They're not matched, and he's got responsibilities. So his money needs to get up so he can live a fruitful life, even on his own self. Because if he's only got a couple of hundred, that's not what kind of life is that? You're struggling.
You know what? For me,
you're struggling at best.
You know, for me, what is actually ringing the most alarm bells? It's not even that he's got kids. It's not even that he ain't got no money. It's that he's telling her that she can't like man's picture. That just seems, I'm just sensing control issues here. And that for me, nah, mate. So what are you saying? That you're not going to like girls' pictures and you're going to do, what are you going to start doing? Looking at my thing and like how it goes and all this stuff like that. That part for me, you're not controlling me. I'm not being controlled. I'm not one of your children. That's not happening.
That you have to pay child support for. I think it's freaking of insecurity because he's going for the low-hanging fruit. He's insecure about his financial status. So he needs to get if that's a problem for him, then he needs to sort that out, because it's now projecting, because now she's doing normal things like liking pictures. If she likes him and she loves him and she's showing him support and she's actually considering staying with him, though he's got no money and he's got two kids and he's got two different baby mothers and he's got child support issues. The fact that she's even contemplating that she still likes him and she wants to stay with him, and he's coming to tell her that she can't like pictures. He's insecure. That means he's got shit to work on for himself. He needs to heal himself.
He needs to humble. He needs to humble.
Leave her alone. That's the flag for me, because everything else can be worked out because what's his career? What's he doing for life?
Yeah.
What's he doing? What's his intention? What's his goal?
The guy reckons he works in legal something.
Reckons.
Something like that.
If he works in legal something, he'd have a better child support thing going on. If he works in legal,
he reckons he works. Where is he? Is he a team assistant or is he actually?
Listen, and then
I don't believe him. I think
No,
he's
you're not listening. You're not listening. On LinkedIn, he had this legal something, but to supplement that, he was doing Uber Eats.
Get off the phone, man. We all listen.
Come on. We will be polite. We will be polite.
Who tries multiple streams of income, however you can get it, and especially if you're going the legal route, however you can get it. Well done, you. What you're not going to do is tie this woman down with your insecurities.
How old is the woman, though?
Yeah,
20s.
She's in her 20s.
Oh,
shit,
how old
no.
is he?
Babe,
How old is he?
it's okay.
I bet he's in his 40s.
I was about to say.
I think he's in his 40s.
I bet he's in his 40s.
Trying to control young gal.
Exactly. That's what they do.
That is what they do. It's text.
Free yourself. Tell your friend. Free herself. The auntie said, remove yourself from the city. You're in your 20s.
And do it now.
Do it now.
This
She's
is what
in
I'm
her prime.
talking about certain men, yeah. They will rob with young girls of their
Of
best
their youth.
years.
Yeah.
Of their youth. And yes, Auntie Sade.
And then dash them when they're in their 30s.
Exactly. About I can't do this.
And then when they're older and you're older, they're all right because they've moved on to the next young thing and you're just out here in these streets.
You already can't manage your
Paying
own
off their
load.
bills.
You can't manage your own load. You've got two baby mothers and children, and you're telling me you're living on £200 a month. No, you got things to sort
And
out.
you're either eating and illegal somewhere, reckoning you're illegal. Reckoning. It's not even I am illegal, you reckon. So maybe sometimes you turn up to work and you don't even have
No,
a desk.
he works for some company in Malta, apparently.
No, all right, it's enough now because now you're going to time.
It's lies. It's
He
just
works for a company in Malta.
It's like timeshare now. No,
This sounds like
No, what he does is he works for the Maltesers company. That's what he
no,
does.
man. It's all right. It's okay.
Someday.
Uncle Femi, you're taking the piss. You better tell her to leave him straight away.
Now.
No,
So let's
But do
leave
you know
now.
what's magic? This scenario sounds like I made it up, but it's actually really real.
No, we know we
believe
believe
you.
it.
This happens all the
What
time.
advice did you give her, though? What did you tell her? What was your
I
advice?
said, yeah, you're unequally yoked.
100%.
Unequally yoked.
Yeah, definitely.
He can't say that. Yeah, I hope there aren't too many women in their 20s that are dealing with men older than them who at least aren't financially secure, because you literally are in your prime and it's not the time to be settling down for any old mark. Like literally, like value yourselves. You can do so much better than that. At least get somebody who is financially stable and then navigate from there. But you're not financially stable. You have 2 kids with 2 different women and you're broke and you're telling me not to do stuff. Are you crazy? Like, I'd be a fool to stay around for that.
Yeah.
In my 20s, allow it.
It's
Okay.
Your own self. No.
Thank you, Uncle Femi, for that. That was wonderful. You gave brilliant answers. That dilemma was perfect for the aunties. We love that. Quickly got to go into our sponsors. Hi. This episode is sponsored by HelloFresh. Do you feel like you're stuck in a dinner rut with HelloFresh? You get fresh, pre-measured ingredients with mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. Skip all those trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. You can now enjoy cooking and get dinner on the table in 30 minutes or less with over 25 recipes to choose from each week. There is something for everyone to enjoy. All recipes are designed and tested by professional chefs and nutritional experts to ensure deliciousness and simplicity. Uncle Femi, I just wanted to ask you, are you a cook at home? Do you guys cook from scratch? Do you need help? Do you go to these new kind of organizations that kind of help you with your dinner load? What's this? What are you saying?
Listen, I'll do HelloFresh. It's fine. Like I've been seeing it. You got send me the discount code. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the next bit. I'll call to action. We'll send you the link in our show notes, guys watching and listening. The link's in our show notes to get 50% off your first box and then 35% off your next 3 boxes. The link is in our show notes for 50% off your first box and then 35% off your 3 boxes. HelloFresh, the #1 meal kit. And Uncle Femi said he's going to try it. So HelloFresh, there you go.
Listen, I've been looking at it for a minute. I've been like, yeah, maybe I'll try that little HelloFresh thing. But I haven't.
Try it.
Try it, man.
Try it. It's actually good.
Big them up. They've been around for years.
Yeah.
So
They have.
staying fresh. All right, now it's time for Sad, Mad, Glad. We nearly wrap up the show. We reflect on what's made us sad, mad, and glad this week. Uncle Femi, what's made you sad, mad, and glad this week?
Well, why don't you come back to me, please?
All right, you got that in your homework notes. Okay, cool. I'm next. So I'm sad that my hair took like, guys, this is new hair. It doesn't even look 100% new because I did it myself. It took me, I'll try and say it quickly. It took me from Friday evening up until like 2-3 a.m. Then I realized I had the wrong hair. So I went to Harlesden in the morning and I restarted at 10-11 a.m. with the right hair. Stayed doing my hair until about 4-5 a.m. Sunday morning. Had a little nap. Got up again at 9 Sunday morning to finish the hair. I finished at 10. I gave up. This center part hasn't been done because you know why? F doing hair by myself. What I need to bring into the universe is a lifestyle that allows me to go to Ghana 2 times a year to get my hair done because I'm not doing it again by myself. That was hell a stress, and it's not even perfect, and it's really big. And when it was done, it was like this big. It looks like I've got fake dread hat on sometimes. It's look how big it is. This is not what I asked for. But anyway, I'm trying to work with it. I'm trying to control it. It was stressful. I'm very sad. And I'm mad because on my trip to Harlesden, there's a bakery, I think it's called Fresh Bakes. I'm pissed off. I was so excited because I've really been craving a real fresh old school donut. There are no more traditional donut shops anymore. It pisses me off. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I saw it. They had all these donuts in the window. I was like, yes, I got excited. I bought 4 jam donuts, not just for me, for the family. Don't try it. 4 jam donuts, 2 ring donuts, and 2 iced buns, right? I was walking and I bought a cheese and onion pasty. So I ate the cheese and onion pasty because I hadn't had any breakfast and I was gearing up for the day of plaiting. And I thought, let me taste this donut. When I broke the donut, it broke like bread and crumbs and dry, stale unnecessariness. When the jam was stiff, I was like, F you, Fresh Bakes. And then I broke into the ring donut and I broke into the twisty thing. Everything was dry and stale. I was so vexed that I just dropped the bag on the side somewhere. I was like, I was going to take it back, but I wasn't sure it was a black-owned bakery, and I felt a bit awkward going back as a black-owned bakery, you know, solidarity and shit. So I felt bad because everyone that served me was black. So I left it there, and I went into the hair shop to get my hair. And when I came out, I was like, if that bag is still there, because in my head, I was like, I'm vexed. Like, I've just spent money on hair. I'm vexed. So the bag was still there. Took it to the shop. I said to the guy, is this a black-owned bakery? The man said, no. I was like, right, safe. Take these things back. I want my money back. Every single one of these damn things are dry. Imagine the girl said to me, yeah, girl, I know, because this place is shit. They don't cook their shit properly. And then she was nonchalant. She was like, she knows. She gave my money back. No, just no problem. She actually admitted that this shit was nasty and crap. That's what she
Did you say you was in Harlesden?
I was in Harlesden.
Okay.
So unexpected.
Why did you say Harlesden like that? I was in Harlesden.
No,
I would expect unfresh things from Harlesden.
Why?
No,
not away, not at all. Harlesden, I would expect that to be serving the black and brown and Asian community with proper stuff. There's black people complain, not stale. Because I think it's changed.
No, it's not about Harlesden. Should I tell you about Harlesden quickly? You know what? Harlesden is the only area where, I've driven down the high road at night time, and there's actually still like drug addicts thinking every car is a drug dealer. They're so high, they came up to my car and thought I was a drug dealer. You know how scary that was for me?
I don't know what streets you're driving down in Harlesden.
On main Harlesden.
I don't have those experiences.
You know, on main bit of Harlesden.
I do not have those experiences.
When I saw that on main bit, you know, like, you don't know where the BFM is. You know, like, there's a one-way road.
Yeah.
On the other side. You know, it's a one-way road. On the other side of that one-way road, yeah?
Where the clock tower is.
Listen. I was like, what is this? Am I in Brooklyn? Like,
you wouldn't even find that in Brooklyn though. Like Harlesden is a law unto itself.
Like, what is this thing?
It's not, bro. Anyway, I was.
But why did you buy so many? If you didn't know the shop, why did you?
You know what? Like I said,
it was making me laugh. It was.
I got gassed because I've been so craving.
Rookie mistake, man.
It was, but at least I got my literally, I was like, and I had the faith in Harlesden because I'm like, it's a black place. Harlesden, because people just bury you and cuss you all day long. So what
you should have done in Harlesden was bought a patty.
No, I didn't. No, the thing is, I've had good patties, so I want craving a patty. I've had good patties in
trying to buy a donut. You should have bought a patty.
No, I didn't need.
That's what you should have bought. You should have
No.
gone to
And that
one
bakery, listen,
and
that bakery has changed hands because that bakery used to have good donuts in it. So I didn't even check it. I just saw succulent, supposedly fresh jam donuts in the fucking window, and they were dry like paper. I got my money back, but I was mad. Also mad, on a more serious note, the Kenyan woman, Agnes Wanjiru, who was murdered apparently at the hands of a British soldier. This guy is still moving. He's not arrested. Nothing's happened to him. He's still out there. The story is horrible, and maybe we'll actually talk about it next week. But yeah, I'm mad that he's still out there and no justice has been served for her. And I'm my glad is that last week was very inspiring and filled with very positive conversations with certain people, and it was just really, really good. So I loved it. And going on Dope Black Mums podcast, which we were all on, and we did that last night. That's going to come out soon. Thank you, Nina, for having us. And literally just now, Femi, you saying about dancing and celebrating and the way that's so black, that just made me feel really glad, because when I'm out, I dance a lot, and I've had people say, "You really dance all night," and I'm like, I don't understand. I didn't know when it became a thing that it's kind of weird for people to dance all night. And people have been commenting on the fact that I dance all night. But when the music's right, I will not sit down ever. And it's really a thing. So I'm just really glad you said that. Okay, Auntie Farah, what's made you sad, mad, and glad this week?
I'll tell you. I'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, right. So sad. I am sad. On Saturday, it marked the anniversary of my uncle's passing. Last year, he passed away. Uncle Chopsy, who was like an integral part of the family. So that made me really sad that it was a year already. Off the back of that, I was mad because us cousins got together, like his kids, the rest of the cousins and whatnot. We got together and went out to like get a drink and stuff. And we went to Portobello Road. We were doing like a little pub crawl, and we went to what was Market Bar on Portobello Road, and is now some new shranky place called Yukai. And they wouldn't let my cousin in because he had shorts on. It was fucking hot. They wouldn't let him in. And then they wouldn't let my other cousin in because he had trainers on. And there's me in trainers and jeans, my sister in shorts and trainers. People are coming in and out in the same attire, and they wouldn't let them in. And it was like, what's wrong with you lot after this is fucking Market Bar? Don't try it. So that got me mad. Other note, I'm really mad at Michael Gove because he's making vagrancy illegal again. So basically, there was an act that's like, it's over 200 years old, and they, if you slept rough on the streets, was criminalized, and they repealed this law back in April. But now he's pushing in new laws, which makes it illegal for homeless people to sleep on the fucking street. And there's a backlash, but they're going to do what they're going to do. So that got me mad. And my glad is my mother is coming back to England after 6 months in Grenada. She's about to get on a plane in the next half an hour or so, and all I can say is babysitter. I'm dropping my daughter off on Friday after school, and I'm not getting her until Sunday evening. Yes.
Those are the ways.
Auntie Nano.
Okay. My sad. Okay. Oh yes, no, I was super sad seeing the pictures that were released this week from the Texas massacre, the latest one, where it was like 19 kids and the 2 teachers that got killed, and there were stills of policemen that were actually inside the school within 12 minutes, and they didn't actually go into the room for another 15 minutes, and they're there, like literally you can see the CCTV footage. And that just made me so sad, because I have been down the conspiracy theory streets, and there are lots of conspiracies around it, and it kind of seemed to reaffirm what lots of people were saying, that this was kind of in some way state sanctioned. And it pissed me off royally, confirmed some things that I think already about the establishment. And then I got super mad going on to Danny fucking Price's page on IG, and he had a series of slides about Boris Johnson, and how Boris Johnson, when he was foreign minister, tried to get his mistress, his now wife, Kerry, to be employed within the office, and her salary was going to be up to like 70,000 or something. It was kiboshed at that time, but he had given money to one of his other mistresses as well. And it was just like, the proof is there of how corrupt Boris is and the Tories are, and still
his
nothing
wife was
happens.
receiving cancer treatment.
Exactly. And it's just like, it just pisses me off that he's still in power and they're all still in power. And to say that we shouldn't really be voting or that we need to decentralize government, it's like, I'm the ludicrous one, but we're being run by these flipping psychopaths. So that made me mad and made me go on a mini rant to myself. And I'm super glad that it was Father's Day on Sunday and we had a chilled one with the husband and the kids. We just went for brunch around the corner. But overall, I am just really grateful that I lucked out and got a man who takes fatherhood so seriously, like truly loves our boys, like just so much. He loves them wholeheartedly. It's lovely watching them. And he allows me to be the woman that I am, all of my shortcomings, and he steps in when I don't want to do things like school, kill spiders, play football, have water fights, all of that stuff where it takes me a lot to do it. He steps in and does it. And so, yeah, I love them all, but I'm very lucky that I have the husband that I have.
Yay!
Play that clip to your brethren. Play that section what Auntie Nana said to your brethren. That's the man she's got to be looking for. Not, not freaking stop liking abs, man. Auntie Sade.
I was gonna say you need to send him nudes though, Nana, man. I know.
I did. I sent him new tights. You have to be specific.
He's waiting.
I just want to say without exposing anything. Someone asked me for news the other day, and I sent them new tights based on what.
Well done. Well done. Good girl.
What?
Someone asked me for nudes. I'm going to send them nudes of men.
You've got to be specific, or send toes, nude toes, nude nails. You have to.
That's a tip. Go on, Auntie Sade.
Anyway, my sad, mad, and glad. I don't have a sad or a mad at the moment. My only sad, actually, I take that back, is that there was a party last week that I missed out on, and it looked freaking amazing. Serious, I wish I was there. And actually, too, because I wish I was in Malta as well. I'm not even gonna lie. DLP looked lit.
Yeah, it looked wicked.
Malta is looking heavy.
Wicked. I'm jealous.
Seriously, I'm just like annoying. But anyway, I don't really have a mad at the moment. I think like being off from work and stuff, I'm generally in a good mood. My glads, though, I do have a few glads. One is my bonus niece got into her first choice of internship. So I'm very, very happy for her. Like, I'm just so proud because she was so nervous and she sent me this whole thing. And I was just like, just need to be yourself. Like, everyone's going to love you. And they did. And she was one of the first picked. And it was just amazing. I'm really proud of her and happy for her. And also, The Boys is back. I don't know if you guys watch that.
Yes.
But I freaking love it. Serious. And I can't wait for Friday. And then also, I'm loving Love Island, and me and Auntie Nana are doing a not daily, every other day-ish show review type thing. So yeah, and I'm really loving that at the moment. So yeah, that's me.
I love
it. Uncle Femi, have you got your sad, mad, glad?
Simple. I'm sad that we're about to go into a recession.
Oh God.
Everyone's pretending that that's not what's going on. I'm mad about hay fever. It needs to stop. Otherwise, I'm going to stop living here. And I'm glad that my mum's back. Because I'm just glad she's back. And actually, I've had fun on it. So I'm glad that I came on the podcast.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! Thank you for coming, man. You didn't do this bit of homework. Have you got anyone on your hit list? Someone that doesn't piss you off? I mean, someone that pisses you off, or someone, or what's the other one? I've forgotten what it is. Don't piss me off.
Recommendation.
Or recommendation. Is there anything you want to sign off with?
Or a recommendation? Like, you know what? Nothing really annoys me like that. There are a few things that annoy me, but it's like no one really annoys me because I just think everyone gets what's coming to them.
True.
That sounded
yeah. That was a threat.
That sounds like everybody on your hit list, bro.
Yeah, but it's a fact. Everyone gets what's coming to them. Even Boris, everyone. Like, you know, it's not necessarily for me to serve that justice, but it's always everyone gets what's coming to them. What would I recommend? What have I been watching recently? Do you know what's good? Like Lightyear.
Yeah, I haven't watched it
No, I
yet.
want to see that. Yeah.
Oh, is it good?
It's
Oh,
not bad. Like it's not the way they've done it is kind of made it so it works. You know,
Okay.
it's not bad, and so that was all right. What else did I watch? I watched something else recently that I've still not finished. Hustle.
Which one? What
I can't get through it.
Adam Sandler film.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I started it. I've not finished it. It seemed like totally good. What else? What else would I recommend that I've watched recently? I feel like Miss Marvel's not bad.
Yeah, that's decent.
I like that.
That's cute.
It's actually and it's got. Do you know what's mad? What I like about it is that it's got these little like sort of Asian references.
Yes.
It's quite similar to like.
oh,
I
Miss
think.
Marvel. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought you said
Yeah.
something else. Yeah, it's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think Nigeria. I think like my experience of Nigerian culture. Some of like, so I've got Indian friends and they tell me about some of the stuff that their aunties and uncles do, and I think, oh my gosh, it's so similar. It's hilarious, and I just find that element funny, where it's like they've got these ethnic things that are clearly specific to them, but they're not specific to them because we have the same thing in our culture.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's unifying. I like it too. All right, guys. Do you want to get some comments? We got any comments? I've seen one that you need to read out, Nana.
Which one?
What from my husband?
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to help you, Nee. I'm trying to help you.
We're trying to help.
He wrote, "Send me proper nudes. It's 2022 and still I don't get none." All right,
In the nudes, man.
in 22 more years you can get it. 2042 you can get some nudes. You'll appreciate them then.
Well, guys, thank you, Femi. Uncle Femi, you've been a wonderful uncle, as we knew you would be. Thank you so much for spending your time with us and dropping gems. And that warning at the end, I'm scared, man. You guys, Uncle Femi, you lot are getting shit coming for you. You're doing shit wrong out there. But
I like that warning.
I love that. It's a good one. It was deep.
Motherfuckers.
Thank you, Aunties. This is your Aunties Could Never. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on all the social media platforms. And remember, you can listen back to us on most popular listening platforms. Don't forget to leave your comments and your recommendations and your shares. And don't forget to follow us. Sign up to Patreon, please. You get extra bonus Aunties when you sign up to the Patreon. So get more content from us there. And I think that's it.
Spotify? No.
What happened?
Playlist.
My God. Spotify playlist. Did you guys do it? Yes. It was a free one.
Let's run quick.
Let's run for it quick. Where are we? I've lost mine.
So it was like freestyle. So whatever your mood is right now, should I just go with mine first?
Yes, go on then.
So obviously Break My Soul, Beyonce, that's number one I'm adding. And Dreams and Nightmares, Meek Mill's, because that intro to that, like, I just think it's just brilliant. Like the talking, like I love it. And then just like a little bit of UK flavor, Mirror May, Wild Things. I like that track at the moment. So yeah.
Okay.
You know, mine was quickly. I was in Ghana last night, man. I was just deep in the cut listening to Ghanaian music last night when I was working. I realized we've already done Kweka the Traveller, but I have to reiterate, Kweka the Traveller by Black Sharif is a bad boy tune. Black Sharif just download his whole playlist anyway. He's wicked, so everything's with Black Sharif. But Kweka the Traveller was my favorite, but it's already on our playlist. Sorry by Yao Tog, little young Kumerican, who's on the Ghanaian drill kind of grime wave. And Utalege is an old school classic.
That is my favorite song.
Afori and Ponsa. Listen, anytime that comes on, and I have to big up Fiona Lamptey at her 40th birthday. The DJ played it, and it was just like,
I love that song.
I know that.
You would do.
Yeah, you definitely
would have heard it. Okay.
Ooh.
So for mine, it's just reflective of my mood. Definitely Chris Brown, Beautiful People, one of my all-time faves. Jill Scott, Golden, and Kano, again, one of my all-time favorite tunes, P's and Q's.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm on.
Classic.
Excellent.
No, I'm on my P's and Q's.
Yes. Atifar, you got yours?
I have, but I can't find the title. Hold on. So first one I'm gonna say is Burna Boy Last. I've been killing that at the moment. That's my tune at the moment. And the next one is surprisingly Ella. What's her name? Ella May.
LMA.
Hold on, I need to get the actual tune. So sorry, I'm so unprepared for this. She's got a new tune, and I actually love it. It's off her new album. Sorry, chat amongst yourselves.
LMA has a new album. Okay.
I just saw Evelyn. She was collaborating on a tune. I didn't know she had a collaboration on, but yeah.
Who's that? Say that again.
LMA.
LMA, she was collaborated with someone I didn't know she had done a collaboration with. I was like, oh, I can see. Can't remember who it was.
I'll keep them.
Uncle Femi, what are you listening
I
to?
can't find it, but we'll put it in Spotify. I know. Yeah, I'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go on. And what's your third one?
No, there's two I can't find. So
Okay.
All right, cool.
They'll all be on the list.
yeah, they'll be on the thing. I actually do like. I like Plan B by Megan Thee Stallion, and I don't love Megan Thee Stallion, but I like Plan B because it's a tune, and I feel like because of the beat, it's like a throwback kind of beat. That's why I like it, and I kind of just like how she rides the rhythm on that tune. So Plan B, Last, and the LMA song, if I can find the name of it.
Okay.
Femi, do you want to chuck onto our playlist? You got any tunes that you want to add to our playlist?
What are you
Found
listening
it. It's called How. Sorry, and it's featuring Roddy Rich. There you go.
There's this Nigerian artist called Ashake, and he's like all the bangers at the moment. So he's got the Sungba with Burna Boy.
Oh yeah.
A song called Lasso. He's got a song called Peace Be Unto You. I like what am I listening to? So I'm listening to a lot of him at the moment. Listen to a lot of always listen to Amapiano. There's one of the main producers got a new album, Kabza the Small. He's got a new album, banging. And what else am I listening to? I listen to Lethal B's new album.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a couple songs. I don't really listen. Lethal B is not an artist that I would listen to for albums normally.
Yeah.
But like, he's got a couple songs. Lethal B is doing his thing. And then there's an artist called Ego LMA.
Yeah.
I'm feeling her as well.
Yeah.
There's a couple of tunes. I might get you to send me some of them names and we'll add it to our special. Your Aunties Can Never playlist on Spotify. So check that out. It's just our tunes. And you just get a feel of it. Yeah, man. All right, guys. That's it for real now. Good night. End of the party. Bye-bye. Bye.
Night.
Bye.